Well, hello there, out there in the pool viewing world. Welcome to another challenge match. We're going to give thumbs up to our players out there. This is MH Potting Penglaze, and I'm in the commentary box today with Ray. Sorry, this is going to get confusing, isn't it? Ray. Skidmark Skenandore.
The people's champ.
That's right. And
I'd never say that, by the way. I haven't said that in years, but since you said Skidmark, it just triggered me.
Huh.
I was having a flashback of Dale.
Yeah.
That's a bad image. But I'm glad to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, women and children of all ages.
Yes.
This is a challenge match.
Between who's playing today?
My dad, Roy Skenandore, and Phong.
And Phong Nguyen, or Gwen, as he seems to pronounce it.
Oh, it's not pronounced Win?
Win.
Yeah, that's how, like Scotty Wynn, Steve Wynn. There's some big famous guys. Same spelling. Pronounce it Win.
So this match here between these two is really a rematch of
grudge match
of the latest 599 under pool tournament.
Oh no, was that your wife? I heard the Twilight Zone music.
No.
Oh.
We'll put the phones on silent. So this Saturday at the Mad Apple, we had the 599 under tournament and the hot seat match to find out who was going to make it first to the finals between these two players. Roy, or Pups, as you call him, Pops. And Roy.
Daddy-o.
It was Hill, I think. They made
the old man. Usually the oldest man in the building, but I see in the bleachers over there, I see Malcolm. So today, my dad is a spring chicken here at the pool hall. Yeah, so here we go. That was the first break shot. So we're doing, real quick, it's a race to 7, 8-ball BCA rules, and they are playing for a hundo each. My dad came up here Monday night to the tournament with me, the weekly Mondays. We have a 9-ball tournament, 7 o'clock, and my dad came in, and right when he walked in the door, Phong said, "I want a rematch." And my dad said, "Let's go."
Yeah. And your dad's been playing very well. Also in that tournament, he knocked me onto the loser side.
Ooh.
And that we were trying to remember what the score was. I think it was 6-4.
Let's talk about that.
Well, it was a good little battle. I thought we were both playing well.
Well, whenever anybody loses, my favorite question is just say what happened, and then sit back in silence and get my popcorn ready.
Well, I'm not going to be saying, "Oh my God, there was this one shot where he got really lucky." No, I'm not that way. But
so wait. So what
remember
happened?
details. Well, he won. He won more games than I did. There was this one roll. The whole match would have been different. No, you never know. I mean, obviously, pool is a game of skill, but there's also an element of luck. Shot choice.
Pool is a beautiful game played by ugly people.
Yeah. Especially when you play.
That was my Joe Rogan impression of doing an impression of Earl Strickland.
So now Roy right here, of course, he's got solids. And I think he was trying to think about the 8-ball there because it doesn't really have a pocket, does it? And that's the interesting thing about 8-ball. Sometimes you run yourself into trouble.
He's done a good job of that right now.
There's usually an opportunity to break stuff out, and you don't want to be too safe and conservative. I think you've got to go for it. But it's a very complex game.
Well, the only good news here, as far as the layout for my dad, is that whole middle of the table is very congested.
Yeah.
And so even if he ends up not getting out, Fong's going to have some work to do. It's not an easy.
Right. And
you're
usually you
totally
feel, though,
selling
of
out.
course, that you hand the advantage straight to your opponent if you start running balls and then turn it over, which seems like it might happen here. Now, Fong's an aggressive player, and I had a little chit-chat with him before. I told him I like the fact that you're so aggressive, but in 8-ball, sometimes you don't want to overlook the fact that you can run yourself into trouble and the safety might... like in this situation, if Roy doesn't get out here, you would say that Stripes has the big advantage. Just because he's got more balls on the table, more control, more options.
Oh, I like this. So he's playing this with inside to come 2 rails and come back up table for the 4. Oh, hit it too thick. So on that shot there, when you're playing a ball with a lot of outside.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did I say inside?
Inside.
Sorry, inside. Yep, it was right. It was inside. You can see he hit the 1 ball too thick, which also gave him a chance to scratch. But it's kind of the scary way to miss, because when you're shooting that shot, you're already shooting a thin cut to make the 1. But now when you put inside on it, you actually have to aim a little bit more of a cut, which is into nothing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're literally aiming into nothing. You have to spin it back a little bit with the swerve or the deflection. But that's how the shot is played. And so it's easy to undercut that and aim at something, and that's how you miss that ball. Fun little shot there from game 1 for the viewers, especially for some viewers who don't ever really try to hit that shot 2 rails with inside.
Inside is very awkward and tricky, and you can miss it by a long way. And there's one thing that makes it very counterintuitive when it comes to aiming inside English is if you draw a diagram of a complete range of different spots that you can strike, all the way from outside English on one side to center ball, all through inside English, it's not symmetrical. It's not a symmetrical pattern, which means the adjustments that you have to make in order to shoot outside English shots, it's not a continuous scale, and it gets very confusing if you just carry that over and think you're going to make those same adjustments as you travel into the murky world of inside English. And the real reason is, did you know, I studied physics at college, according to the equation for sliding friction.
Uh-oh. Do we need a diagram?
Well, no. What I'm trying to say is when you have throw-induced cut, so you hit with a plain ball, no spin on your cue ball, but you're cutting at an angle and you know it throws, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to then add a little bit of inside English, it doesn't throw more. It actually does not counterintuitively add any extra throw on that ball, because the speed at which the faces pass each other does not affect the amount of friction. The friction's only affected by the normal force between the balls and the coefficient of friction.
Ooh.
I know that's probably going to land on a lot of deaf ears there, but I would have to get.
Yeah,
deep
it's
into it,
we're talking about really slight things. So already the throw of a cutting a ball is already a very small thing. So you're talking about a very small thing of a very small thing.
Well,
so you're talking about
what I'm saying, and this is the surprising result, is it doesn't throw any more by adding a little bit of extra inside English.
Yeah. But that's why
Yeah.
I'm saying the reason that's gonna maybe fall on some deaf ears or go over some heads is because you're already talking about like it's not a very easily seeable thing.
Yeah.
It's very small.
Sure.
And so
It can
now
throw-
you're talking about
But it can throw a few
will it
degrees.
throw it a
Right.
little bit more or less of something that's already barely seeable.
Right. But you would assume adding a little inside English would throw it a little bit more. You've got a little bit more speed between the faces of the balls, and seems logical that a little bit of extra spin would throw it a little bit more. And the actual...
Oh, wow, he just called a bank here. This doesn't go clean on the side?
Even if it does, you almost like the bank better. The 8-ball kind of looks like it's in the way.
There's a lot of shots like this where from the camera and from where we're sitting or standing, it looks like the 4 goes. It looks like that's how he played it, was to get the 4 to. Okay, now he changed his mind. It does go. He's saying watch the hit here. Might be close. So he called the 4 on the side. Watch the hit. We got that button where we can. Oh no, he wants to get the phone. What you got the button where you can do the replay?
You know, I should figure out where that is.
F4 or F9.
Oh yeah, F10.
There it is. I'm a Brock Lesnar fan. I like the F5. Oh. Double trouble on those points.
Here we go.
And it's cold in here.
We'll play the replay on that shot.
Oh, you got the replay. Nice.
Yep. Figured out how to use it. Yeah, it was definitely a good hit, and it definitely did go.
All right, so I can tell you some personal stuff here. I know my dad does not like diamond tables, and that just drove the point home a little bit more. No pun intended. That point going in on a shot like that into the side, that's exactly how you want to shoot hard shots into the side on a valley table. You brush that inside point coming in, and the valley tables love it because the pocket kind of sticks out. The actual base, the bottom, the hole, the pocket sticks out a little more onto the table. On the diamond table, it's the exact opposite. You would rather aim to the far end of the side pocket on that exact same cut shot. And so my dad just played too many decades on a valley, and I guarantee you that had played a contributing factor into why he missed that shot the way he missed that shot.
I'm not sure why Phong had to hit that so hard.
I like that. I like this angle better than anything straight in. This is perfect. Just make it with a touch of outside, and it's that he was hoping to get off the rail a little more. I love this. To me, this is almost where I'd put it ball in hand. I'd be off the rail just a little bit more, but to me that's ball in hand shape.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, you're right.
Phong. What could we say about Phong?
How should we describe him? Nice finish there, Phong. Took advantage of that miss from Roy. Now, Roy can't hate diamonds that much. He just did win that $5.99 and under pool tournament on these diamonds.
He doesn't hate it that much. He hates it so little that no one ever knows that unless you're his son.
Huh.
And when he has like one complaint a year about pool, you hear it. And that's a couple years running is just how the pockets are a little bit different. And especially with the one that bugs him the most is not that shot. That's the one that bugs me. But is when you miss to the corner pocket and it rattles and then just goes and finds a rail froze hard so it's not a sellout. Say you missed the 9. He's playing 9 ball. That thing just rattles and finds the end rail and you got no shot. And he's like, that's just not a pool table to me. It's a weird way to miss that kind of shot at that kind of speed and still leave no shot. Complete sellout miss, but leave no shot. All right, so Phong made a ball. They're both breaking pretty good.
Yep.
First things first, make a ball.
Phong actually looked like he hit that. You know, Fong's got the rare ability to have the cue ball on the head spring, his hand on the rail with a very, very long bridge on the break shot and still make solid contact on the cue ball. The advantage it gives him is the cue's traveling faster by the time it gets there. He's got a very, very fast, powerful break. I feel like he took a little bit off that and was controlled. But he's got a decision here to make. was thinking about shooting that 13 ball, but where does it go? How do you get on that 12 ball?
Stripes are definitely the play here.
If you can figure out the 12.
Well, if you can't figure out the 12, then you have to figure out the 6, 5, 7.
Which is also tough, right?
Three tough. What's harder, 3 tough balls or 1 tough ball?
Well, that seems like good logic, but it's also
Come on.
It also
it's
means
math.
Well, but they're all
together.
They're all together. They may all get broken in the same shot, but if you can't find an answer to either one of them, then that logic is out the window. Because the 12,
then 3 is no longer greater than 1.
Well, yeah, because if he's shooting first, and if he starts shooting stripes and still can't figure out the 12, he's just handed all control over to those solids, and just because they're clustered doesn't mean you don't have control.
Okay, so you're saying maybe if you're choosing balls at the start of the game and assuming that no one's going to run out, because I'm playing for the run out.
You're playing for the run out, but you have to have made a decision before you shoot your first shot what you're going to do with the 12 ball, and if you can't come up with that, I would suggest don't start shooting stripes. Don't start shooting anything.
Which means your only choice. What? Don't start shooting anything. You have 2 choices: stripes or solids.
Yeah, but you don't have to start shooting your balls in the hole if you don't have a plan for the 12. So this has to work out now. Otherwise, he's just given all control to Roy. It's like giving up. Shooting balls without solving your problems is just throwing away the game. And you know that, right?
Well, I don't think anyone's shooting balls without trying to solve problems.
No. So,
like, he's hoping that he can get shape here, hold this for the 12 in the long corner. The 12 is obviously your hardest ball.
Yeah, and he's left it to his last ball, and he's got too much angle on this 10 ball.
He got too straight on the last ball. It was hard to get angle here. But okay, so you roll this in. You take what you got on the 12. You might have to back cut it or bank it. But the other advantage or the other upside to trying to run out here is that 5-7 is still very nasty
as a safety. Yeah.
As wait, I mean not as a safety. So I mean as a run out threat for your opponent to run out if you don't.
Right. You're not completely sold out, but Solid still has all the control now. And that shoddy shot there, which he hit the 10 way too thick to make it into the pocket and still didn't hold it, was shooting a shot that wasn't possible. And there you go.
Here we go. Wow.
Great shot.
That is...
Splits up his problem. Puts Phong in big trouble.
Efren Reyes didn't have to hit that ball any better than my dad just did right there. That's, I think, exactly what he was trying to do. The degree of difficulty to get just to get backside on that 7, let alone not kind of freeze weird how he is, which makes it harder. Okay, so he's kicking one rail.
Catch the edge of the 12 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Get a ball to a rail.
I like kicking this 2 rails, actually. But nice hit. That will work. So that little muddy rack area is still mud. My dad does have control. I think if you sent this to like the deep blue chess computers, positional advantage. Solid's shooting right now probably has about a 80-20 advantage, maybe more.
Yeah.
85, we'll say. But 15% doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is quite a lot.
And again, he's got to work on his problems first. Is the 5 a problem? No, it's pretty clear, isn't it? He's just got to pick a good pattern here.
Yeah, if you shoot this 2, I'm shooting this 2 right. Meow. A little bit of pullback, and then I'm just going 5-7. 2-5-7, and I'm out.
If you can get straight on the 5, you're saying, to roll forward for the 7.
Yeah, if you can shoot the 2, the 3 is kind of a natural stopper, and then just roll the 5 in.
Yep.
From where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like he can make the 2, but from the bird's eye camera view, it looks like he maybe can. If he can't, then he. I'm looking. If he can't make this 2-ball right now, I'm looking at a safety.
Yeah, off the 4-ball.
There's so many safeties. Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I don't like that. You got 2 stripes. The worst position to be in in 8-ball is if you only have 1 ball left. 2 is a lot better than 1. And it's not actually obvious where you would play a safe where he can't see both of those stripes.
Yeah, I'm just hitting the 4 and creating distance and kind of leaving the cue ball on the.
Yeah, you're saying you don't mind if he can hit that stripe because it doesn't go to a pocket.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's going to open up
that's
my
exactly
ball.
what he did. He was trying to get the 4 in front of the cue ball, I think. But
that's again worked out perfect. He's on the rail.
Yeah, he's left.
The only ball you can see is the ball that kind of ties up his worst ball.
Yeah.
But there's some decent just positional safeties here too. You don't have to do anything much. Again, so exactly what my dad just did to you, this is what you do back. Leave them long. Try to leave them on some kind of rail. Which rail do you want? I'm looking at this back rail. Leave them in some test or do or die.
Yeah, very, very tough not to leave a shot here. Don't forget the 7-ball is still going to be down there somewhere.
Yep. Well, if you're going to leave a shot, just make sure it's a long shot, not a short shot.
Yeah, well, just chip the 7-ball over the...
That's not bad. Look at this.
Yeah, he's got the 7.
He's got the 7. Let me see. Okay, yep. Bird's eye view looks way better.
He needs to judge the speed here. He's going to go in behind that 5-ball. It's not the best place, is it? Now, he may be able to just pop it into the side pocket and everything's good.
That's your only option at this point.
That's what he's going to do, isn't it? Nudge the 10-ball and rolling the dice a little bit because that 10-ball is going to be on the move.
Well, you're in a bad spot, so you don't have any choices. So I'm dedicating 99% of all my abilities to making this 5-ball center pocket and just dealing with whatever comes from that. Yep. You could try and speed the 10, put some English on the cue ball.
And it's tough to judge, isn't it, where the cue ball is going, because how thick are you going to hit that 10-ball? As soon as you come off the 5, you are brushing the edge of the 10, or are you? And so there's a lot of different potential ways that this cue ball can go.
For sure, that's why.
But I agree with you. I still like your choices. If you make the 5, I like you. Yeah, and if he had made the 5, he was on the 1.
The plot thickens.
Phong has a tough. He really has to go for a cut here.
Well, that 4-12 just lined up both balls to nowhere.
Yeah.
And no close breakout shots.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Don't go for the cut shot here.
What does it mean?
It means if Phong cuts this ball in, the cue ball can fly around the table and break those up. There's a wall of solids to get past. It's asking a lot.
I mean, the cut to me is actually natural. If you play this cut with a little bit outside, it's a natural shape to come 2 rails and get right perfect for your stripe into the only hole it goes.
Behind them, yeah. You shoot the 10-ball past the 8 into the long corner.
Yep.
And he's actually just eyeballing it into the side pocket too, it looks like.
You really don't want to hit this too hard because if you do, you might come 3 rails and break out your opponent's 4-ball. Well, that's the disaster shot in this situation.
If your ball goes in, then that's a good shot. All right. Okay. All right. Now you're in trouble.
This is where you come up with a shot.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
It's not impossible, I don't think, to just get the 10-ball to barely graze off the 1 and steer it into the pocket. Is that what he's looking at?
From my angle here in the booth, looks like there's no chance. I think it is impossible. I'd say yes, impossible. Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist,
I don't know.
coming from NASA, he's going to go ahead and say that that's impossible. There might be other shots, but not that one. That's a good shot. That was a real good shot.
Still advantage solids. Just because you got more balls on the table.
See, the best two shots I've seen so far this match, one by Phong, one by my dad, were both speeded safety shots. And, just the reason they're the best shots is because the degree of difficulty was so high and they were executed so nicely.
Yeah, that one where your dad froze up behind that ball.
Which is weird because I expected this match to come out with fireworks. These guys, my dad is on fire right now. He's always a little streaky, in my opinion. I tell him because except when he plays me, he always plays me tough as nails. And then I see him play some of these tournaments. I'm like, what was that, Dad? I just got him a lesson for Father's Day, and he just got this lesson from a female pro, Margaret Fefilova Steyer, and she because he don't listen to me no more. So I told her, I said, hey, will you do me a favor and just light a fire under his butt and tell him to just stop giving away games. And that's exactly what she did. He came out 2 days later at the 599 under here and just rolled through the whole field. And I asked him if that was why he did it, and he said he gave all his credit to he went to South America this off-season and tried ayahuasca for the first time, and he gave him a all new perspective on life, and he said that's the reason.
Wow.
He's going to go out and win 2 MVPs back to back.
Wow. What did he learn there?
Well, he learned that when you know what ayahuasca is. It's
No.
like it's like a little bit of a psychedelic drug, and just kind of opens your mind.
Wow.
To maybe see over that fence that you don't even know that there's anything on the other side of the fence.
You're talking about your dad now? No.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, so Aaron Rodgers, this was in the news. Aaron Rodgers came out and said he just won 2 back-to-back MVPs.
Because of this?
Because he went and did ayahuasca before the 2020 season.
Gotcha. We're talking about football.
My dad said he'd never done drugs, which is crazy.
Why is that crazy?
I just assumed because, he's older, and drugs were, I don't know, he was around when hippies were around. I saw these photos and videos. It just felt like everybody was doing everything.
Yeah. Back
in the 70s. I wasn't around.
Right. Well, it's got a nice open table here. Bit of an angle on this 5 ball, but I think he's probably going to wise to just take it off first, isn't he?
Oh, I was checking out the chat. I missed your question there.
Oh, yeah.
So I see Michael Sabata in the chat. Roger Pregler, he actually chopped the tournament with my dad. It was late, and he's been playing great too.
Roger was playing really good.
Oh, yeah.
Roger knocked me out. We had a good old battle, didn't we, Rog?
Oh, so you finished third? Fourth?
Yeah, Roger knocked me out in 4th place. It was your dad who knocked me into the loser's side.
And what was the race on the loser side? Was it 5?
5,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Tickle me Elmo.
Yep.
Just barely going in. And he had the body English to send it in there at the end. cinch this 8-ball in. Make it a little 1-1. How do you do?
Well, there we go. Tied up. And we should mention what's coming up. We got the great Rodney Morris is on his way to the Mad Apple, August 24th through the 28th. So if you want to come and see Rodney or have a chance to play against Rodney or have a chance to have a lesson with Rodney Morris, I know most of the lessons are signed up now. Not all, though. I haven't heard that the last one, there may be 1 or 2 spots left last time I heard. But if you're interested in getting a lesson with Rodney Morris, it's a $200 for 2-hour session. And if that's the case, message Kendall Quickfire Cook on Facebook Messenger or call me, and I'll let Kendall know in the pro shop at the Mad Apple, and we'll hold a spot for you. But that's pretty exciting. We've had a lot of good pros come in, but I've always been a fan of Rodney. Rocket Rodney.
Wow. So I'm looking at the flyer. It says so. Well, hold on. Here comes a break shot. I'll get right back to Rodney. My favorite shot in pool is a break. He's going head ball smash from near the center. He did the first things first, which is make a ball. Did not scratch. It's the second thing. And now you got options. Yeah.
Good old mess in the middle there.
Back to Rodney for a sec. I'm looking at the flyer. It says 100 per hour. That's not. I thought it'd be higher. It's not bad.
With a 2-hour minimum.
2 hours. So you gotta get at least 2 hours.
Right.
And that's 1-on-1 lessons. Right. It says 1-on-1 and then group. Oh, the group. So the group is 75 per person. But the 1-on-1 lessons is 100 an hour, minimum 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. When Darren Appleton was here, I took a lesson with him, and he changed the position of where my left leg is. Told me I was not balanced, and I've changed it now. And I definitely feel I'm playing a lot better.
You are
a lot more consistent. And I thank Darren Appleton for having me change that in my stance.
All right. So that brings me to a really good point I want to make. How many lessons have you paid for in your life? Probably not many,
probably
right?
just the one with Darren Appleton.
Okay, 1. I've paid for at least 10, maybe let's say 15.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them have been cheap, surprisingly. And I also gave lessons for a very short time, and I kind of gave it up. Mainly because I was frustrated that the players I was working with weren't getting as good as I thought they could, as fast as I thought they could.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore it was very frustrating for me. It was like one person was offering me, he's like, I'll pay you more, I'll pay you double. Come on, let's keep. I said, no, dude, you don't understand. It's not the money. You could pay me a really high amount, and I'm frustrated that I have to reevaluate my own lesson and start from scratch. And that's the other thing. I can kind of learn stuff from other people too. But my whole big point is I have never talked to anybody who got a lesson from somebody. And so Rodney's charging $100 an hour, 2 hours minimum. That's $200. I guarantee you, whoever takes that lesson, I will guarantee it. I'll pay the $200. I will. If you tell me at the end of that lesson, or at the end of, let's say you get the lesson and a week later, you say, man, that lesson ruined my game. It messed me up. It just set me back. It didn't help me. I didn't learn anything. I'm never going to take a shot or a stance or something forward with me for the rest of my life. So therefore, I say I recommend people get lessons from Kendall, get a lesson from Rodney's coming to town. That's a huge service for us.
Absolutely.
As a pool community.
Yeah. Well, I definitely got something from my lesson with Darren Appleton. Now, if you change anything about your stance or your game, it feels at first as if you're setting yourself back, and that's definitely what it felt like for me.
And you are.
I knew that set you backwards because you're not used to that.
It's like working out. You're breaking down the muscle, and it builds back bigger, faster, stronger.
Sure. So for me, by moving the position of my left leg, it meant my whole stance was further forward than it used to be, which means I didn't plant my right leg in the right place. So I had to relearn even just where to start to get into my stance. And so the next couple of weeks, it felt like I was going backwards. But I stuck with it because I knew it made sense. And then eventually I think I'm still relearning it. I still don't feel as natural as I was when I was playing with the other stance. But I do know that it's got some benefit. I'm more stable. So meanwhile, your dad here has picked off those balls pretty well.
That's a shot. That was a nice shot.
And he has got himself in position. He definitely has a chance now.
He's got a chance.
Definitely got it.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, and that was a difficult looking. I know we were chit-chatting through that whole run there. He picked those off. Didn't really have to bump or break anything out. He just picked them off.
Well, this ain't easy here, but like you said, the reason I was easy to chit-chat, I'm like, well, this whole rack's muddy. Let's just give him some time to open it up a little bit. And he said, no, I'm going to go ahead and run out. Or at least get to this point and swish.
And that will do nicely. Wow, what a great run. What a great run. Break and run. Beautiful little break and run with a very, as you say, a muddy table, very cluttered table, and he picked those off well. So the question there in the chat, can you pronounce that name for me, Ray? M's News.
Supkiss.
Are you going to be broadcasting the Morris visit? There's definitely parts of it we're going to be broadcasting. The challenge matches, he's going to be having challenge matches, which will definitely get broadcast. He's also going to be sitting in the commentary box because he's going to be here over the Friday, and we have our King of the Hill match. And so he's going to be guest commentator for our King of the Hill match. And we've been getting a very high-level match in those King of the Hill matches, which is awesome. So you're going to get some insights from Rodney. Now take a look at this really, really long bridge on Fong's break here. He's the only person who I know who can actually strike the cue ball with speed with such a long bridge on the break shot.
And still hit it square. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll keep watching on that break shots, and I'll give you what I'm thinking there later. I got to see one or two more breaks, see if it's consistent here.
Yeah, and they opened up really, really well, but he didn't make a ball. So we haven't seen Fong in a while, except for that break there. And right away, Roy has chosen solids. And they don't look bad at all. Got to figure out how to float the 7 in and get on the 6 into the long corner, I think. One of the two long corners.
Roger Pregler in the chat says, I get a lesson from Ray every Sunday. That's, you know what? I'll take that. I've been a little hot on Sundays, and I work weekends, and all I want to do is not wake up on Sunday and drive up here from Green Bay, in the morning. But, man, once I'm here, I love it. It's just, I'm literally, like, working for the weekends. And my weekend is the Sunday weekly at the Mad Apple, 1 p.m., they've been getting 30-some players every week lately. And, yep, me and Roger Pregler been going to war. And I love it. Win or lose, I love it. Please beat me. Actually, I kind of like it more. But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on you guys more in the chat here. We got Subkiss. Please warn us when this will happen. Anthony Cardenas, what's the going rate for a new tip at the Mad Apple? I just got my tip put on at the Mad Apple. I actually just bought a new shaft, and I got 2 new tips put on. my old shaft and my new one. I like the Victory Soft, and I said, hey, MH, can you hook a brother up?
That's right.
And he got me quick. And I'll tell you what, I the first tip I played with, the new shaft I got, I'm not sure. Maybe it was humid too that day. I got all the excuses when I miss them. But yesterday, the second shaft that you just got me, I was talking about it last night. I played a bunch of hours. I'm getting ready for this big tournament, Hex tournament out in Minneapolis. And I said, this is probably the best tip I've ever had on any cue ever.
And that was your Predator Victory Soft?
The one you just put on yesterday, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
It's perfect. I feel like I almost get too much action.
Yeah, and that was the same tip that Larry Neville always played with and recommended when anyone asked him about tips. He said Predator Victory Soft. But in answer to the question, how much? So the Predator Victory Softs, all the Kamuis, all the Hows are all $40 installed. We have tips starting at $15 for a nice real leather Le Pro, which, there's nothing wrong with a good Le Pro tip. Real leather, medium firm. Another good one, laminated tip, Emerald, at $25. But the most popular ones are either the Predator Victory Softs or the Kamuis or the How tips.
Oh,
I just put on
he is rolling these balls in with. It's like dream speed. Like, it's not. It's exactly how he wanted to hit that 6 ball, was to barely roll it in with using the full pocket. He didn't get lucky to rattle that in. That's exactly how he played that shot. He's feeling it right now. He's feeling it.
This is the shot of this rack, though, isn't it?
Not easy shot. Yeah.
He can shoot the 7, but he's got a very difficult. Well, actually, probably draw. He could shoot the 7 and draw behind that ball, couldn't he? And
you have two choices. You can try and draw and crash into the 13, which kind of holds you, or you can stun it quick 2 rails, which is harder. I think they're both hard. Very nice. So he did it. So he crashed into the 13, gave himself a shot on the 2. Getting to the 8's no picnic, but
right.
Getting to the 2 was no picnic. So,
well, he can cut this 2 in. Where's the cue ball going? Does he end up hitting the backside of that strike ball?
Yeah, I'm playing this with a ton of low outside. I'm trying to just miss the 12, or you can even hit the backside of the 12. The same thing's going to happen. The cue ball is going to go 2 rails and back down towards a shot for the 8. You got to hit this with a lot of low right. Looks like he's going high ball.
He's using inside English.
Oh, okay. So he was trying to hit I believe he was trying to hit the inside of the 12 and send the cue towards the 8 more.
And it looks like
it kind of stuck.
Does have a bank shot. Is the 13 in the way of the bank shot?
To me, it looks like it's in the way. But he's looking at it. Maybe it's not.
It may just. Well, he's lining up his cue there. I think he's
all right. I'll tell you.
Does have a path.
I'll tell you my weakness too. I'll give you one of my dad's. My dad's not a banker. The bank is usually not open on Sundays when we play. But neither am I. But he's feeling good. Sometimes you're just feeling it. You see the lines. Oh, and he got to leave the cue on the bottom rail. Look at this. 2-way shot. And it could, did that kind of skid or do something weird on the rail there? Did you hear that? Or see it? No. It was just me.
I think like often on that shot it picks up spin and goes flat.
A quick spin, yeah.
The shot loves to go flat, doesn't it? Joe Ponzo is saying monster tips are amazing. I have not tried those. I don't know much about monster tips. I have to start carrying those, won't I? I don't have them. But I'm gonna get them now, as recommended by John Panzo. And yeah, we also have all the tiger tips.
Fong's going to work. So now you got an open table. Your big concern is that 11 ball. So you got to get it open somehow with that 15. Get that 15 off the table. Did it quickly. Nice.
Yeah. So the fact that he had a clear shot on that ball That opened things up a little bit. I say that he's actually got.
I think the 11
his
goes
shooting looked
clean.
like the 11 goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
the overhead looks real tight. Straight in the middle of the hole.
I love the way he's running this rack.
Yeah,
So
now he's picking off the. I'm blocking the other hole too.
yep, he just went in order. Okay, no, I don't like this, but well, this is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just his first look was unlining up the 14-12. But just before that, so he took his hardest problem, boom. Hardest problem, boom.
Yeah.
Hardest problem. And he said, oh, I don't like it that much. I'm going to shoot this other ball, and then I'll get to it. But, you know, when you're at the table, there's reasons why you do that, too. And you can see.
He's nicely on the 13 here. I'd probably take that first. I know it means you've got to travel from the 12, but it's awkward to get on the 13, and he's on it. So my spidey sense says shoot it.
I agree. So if you're a pro, if you're Shane or Rodney, you know, you're probably shooting that 12 first and then 13.
What he's just shown us with his cue stick is he wants to play the 8 in the side. Now, obviously, he could simply get position in the corner, but he's confident. He knows where's he sending the cue ball, so there's nothing wrong with this if you like it.
Two.
Nice out, Phong. Keeping this nice and level.
Two. What it do? There's a bunch of side bets out there too. People here in the pool hall were
And inside
talking about this match
and
before it
inside this
started.
commentary box.
We may have a wager too. I was gonna leave that out of this, but I don't know. Maybe they can guess at home who we're betting on, whom I'm betting on.
Well, I know who you're betting on. I think we know. That's no secret. You're betting against your dad. JK, LOL.
You know what? If my dad just didn't believe in me so much, like he always does, then I would have no problem betting against him here and there. But damn it, he always thinks I'm going to win. And it helps me.
Because you have to live up to that.
Well, at least I'm not alone. It's not like I'm the only one that thinks I can win. There goes Malcolm. Malcolm's just telling me yesterday, hey, you know that tournament you're getting ready for? You're going to go play all these champions?
Mm-hmm.
You know Fedor Gorst is he's a better player than you.
It's a negative way to look at it, isn't it?
It's a weird way to present it to my face.
Yeah, we know that the top pros are higher rated. That doesn't mean don't go playing them.
And I said, yeah, it's a weird part to end the question, this, and I'm like, you know, so I weirdly paused back, and I was like, okay. I said, I'm going to beat him. I'm going out there to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat everyone.
You know enough to be dangerous.
When I come back, I want you to go to Russia and tell him, you know, that next tournament you're going to go to, Ray's going to be there. And he beat you last time. Why would you go there? Why would you play him again? I don't think Malcolm's going to do that, though.
So here, Phong has got to pick a couple of these stripes off, and if he does, this rack will open up.
Yeah, that was a good break. They're breaking good. Fong's starting to. Can you feel that like flow? Like when he's like a magic man, kind of bouncing around the table a little bit.
He's going to have to take a little nudge on the 7 ball here. Oh, he's shooting it in the side. Nice. That's better.
So the 8 ball goes. I got a good view on it here from the booth.
Yeah, and you got to be thinking about that now, don't you? Because
you'd like to save your key ball as the 12.
Yeah.
But if you can't, you can't. And,
or the 9 ball. I think 9 ball, which is hanging over the side pocket, could be used. You could get rid of that 12.
You really don't want to save 13, 12 as your last two, because those kind of jam each other up a little bit.
I think I actually would have shot that 12 ball and then try to get the 13 gone right away and leave the action to the top of the table till right before the 9 and just use the 9 to roll back down. But he's not going to do that.
How about right now? Okay, so right now, I'm shooting the 15, and you can see the line he's kind of aiming
Play
at.
the 9
I like
on the
that
side
line.
and the 11 in the other side.
Okay, wait. So you play the line, and you play for this window between the 11 and 3. So ideally, you want to shoot the 12, but the 9 is your backup. Because if you can get that 12 off the table first, that's better. Like I said, you don't want to save the 12, 13 for your last 2 balls.
Well, if you play the 9, and then the 11 in the side and leave the 12 till last, this actually might work nicely. He wants to drift through this gap and end up straight on the 11 in the other side, or 13, whatever it is. Well, he hit balls there. I don't know why he did that. Still going. Still got a shot here. He's gonna have to.
You know what I like now? What do you like right now? I'll tell you what I like.
He's got to go around the back of the 8 and get on the 12 into the long corner past the 1.
Nope. So I'm banking this 12 straight at it, drawing back into the 5 area, which gives me a shot on the 13 in the corner.
Wow.
Wow, he did hit that good. Gave himself a good chance. Well, the bank is open.
Past the 8.
I believe.
I'm going to quickly replay while he thinks about that shot. The way the cue ball just stopped.
Oh, yeah. That did do something weird there.
Do it again, yeah.
Here he comes. He ain't playing around. He's out.
Okay.
He wants out.
He's got to roll this one in. Well, he didn't try and roll it in. He tried to blast it in.
Yeah, I like blasting because you got to bring the cue ball all the way around table to get a shot on the 8. If you roll that in, you're going to have a kick on the 8 for sure. And not a bad leave. He left the 4 in that spot that is the worst spot. You leave any ball ever, like right by the pocket, froze. Yeah. It's not froze, but and that's your closest breakout ball to 2 balls you just kind of made weird.
Yeah, and he's got the 4 ball
3-7
banks. The 4 ball banks, if he can get on it, and he may roll the 2 in and get on it right now. And that bank shot is also a breakout shot if he has the right angle on it. And the 4 ball is far enough away from the side pocket that he can't play another ball off it. Sometimes if that ball was just a little closer to the side pocket, you try and free it up by playing another ball off it.
Yeah. So I'm going to shoot this 2 ball. If I get a perfect angle on the 5, I'm going to shoot the 5, follow forward for the 4 down. I think he got perfect, actually.
Okay, so he's not going to play a bank shot. He's just going to roll straight forward for it.
You had to stun forward a hair, like a half a ball, to get this angle. And that's not easy, and he did it. He did it pretty good.
But this is one of those situations where you're solving some of the problems, but not all the problems. And if you shoot those balls in, you kind of end up running yourself into trouble if he doesn't figure out the 3 and the 7.
Well, the 7 goes.
7 goes. Oh, he did play it off the 4.
Oh, yeah.
7 goes.
Yeah, the 7 goes.
Ray tells me. Let's have a look at the overhead. Okay. Well, then it's not really a problem, is it?
It's not a big problem. It's not. I mean, it is your problem, but it's a smaller problem. I got 99 problems, and that 7 ball ain't one.
Well, I guess the next problem is which ball are you shooting next? It's got to be the 4 ball, I suppose.
Well, now that you put yourself on this long rail, you got problems. I'm looking for a safety here. There's not any really good safeties.
No, he had a good safety before. When that 4 ball was in that spot by the side pocket, he could have brushed off the 7, split those balls up, and left the cue ball on the rail behind the 4. And if the 3 and the 7 didn't go,
Well, what about now? What about meow?
Well, why not just, if you don't like a good safety, why not just roll the 4 ball in and then roll the 1 ball in?
That's okay.
Just make those 2 balls, you'll be okay. I mean, they're not that tough.
Roll the 4 ball in. I like that. That's the
They're
choice.
both long shots, but we're only on a 7-foot table, so they're not that long.
And there's no good safeties too, right?
Well,
if there was a good safety, he'd play it.
He's got a different idea here. What's he playing?
Just cutting in the jot. Oh, a little light. This table. Oh.
Wow, he made a really, really good attempt at making that ball. He felt that he might have a semi-safety. Looks like the angle that Fong's got is not very pleasant when it comes to banking this ball. It may not.
Hold on. I don't know. I'm going to give my dad some credit. I'm going to say he made that ball. He got cheated by the table. Who does these tables? Is that you, MH?
Oh, stop it.
There's some glue.
Every time
some big glue on the end of that
a
pocket.
Shot, they always blame
That's
the table.
supposed to go in any hole.
What about this bank shot?
Any pool room in America. This is dead. It's dead. Okay, no, it wasn't dead. You had to play it a little bit inside, which makes it harder. And just take that long 8. That's the shot. That's what he did. That's what you do. That's what we do.
Yeah. And now, 6 ball's a little awkward.
6 balls? Weird. That's your weird ball.
He's got this combination. You assure me that the 7's just fine.
Oh, now it's even easier. I'm playing the 7-1. And I'm
just
looking.
Gently brush the 3, and you probably got the 3 in the other corner.
Oh, my God. The glue. How much glue do you not scrape off the table before you put the felt down, MH? He hit both those balls perfect, and come on.
I don't think almost perfect is not the same. Almost perfect is not the same as perfect. Close, but no cigar.
Nothing is the same as anything. Everything is different.
Some things are the same. All protons are the same.
They're different protons, though.
Prove it. They're identical. They're identical.
They could be identical, but they're not the same. Identical twins are identical.
We don't know if
they're not the same.
Well, identical twins are not identical, but
wait, what?
But protons are.
Identical twins are not identical. You're blowing my mind here, MH. And I know you know math, so I want to. Well, I feel like there's something for me to learn right now.
Well, it's interesting. They always assume that protons and neutrons and electrons are indistinguishable, but that doesn't mean there's not something that we just don't know about. It's a mistake to assume the things that we can't perceive just don't exist.
I just love it. Somebody goes, "Well, that's different." When you bring up a pretty good analogy or comparison, they go, "Well, that's different."
Yeah, different from what?
And I go, "Well, everything is different." Thanks for pointing out that
it's too general a statement. To what degree of tolerance are we talking?
Ooh, okay, hold on. Hold the phone here. This is
the plot thickens.
The game within the game.
Well,
Phong. Offense Phong.
Deliberately
has decided to play an intentional safe and get this 8 ball near a pocket in front of the 7. That was a great shot.
Yeah,
strategically.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that strong though, really.
Okay. What would you? It's relative to what he had.
If your dad plays this combination well and leaves the 7 ball still available, then he's got complete control. And solids, it's a very negative position play from Stripes because Stripes has no way to get out now. None. Not until Roy clears the pocket.
Okay, but again, it's relative to what you had. Did Stripes have a way to get out before?
Well, maybe not. Maybe
Stripes
not.
was
so
in
it's a last-ditch effort.
Yes,
to try and tie things up so that it's just.
You're trying to lengthen this game. Look at this. Look at what you're doing. Look at this.
Oh my goodness! Now that has worked out in Stripes' favor, big time. I'm surprised he hit that so hard. He was worried that the 7 was going to get buried in there. He could have tapped that ball and left the 7 available.
I think that was a great shot by Phong. I think you're underselling your horse over here.
All right. Well, it's
I got to bet on my dad. You got to bet on Phong.
Definitely saved him this.
It put the 8 inside of the 7, which means you have to put downward pressure on the 7, and you're not sure where the 8's going. You're not sure how light you got to hit it. It did a lot of things there.
I just felt that your dad's last shot, he could have absolutely tapped dead super soft. the 1 would have fallen in, and the 7 would still be available, and then he's out. He hit it hard, rolled the dice, and it did not work out for him. He's got a bank shot here.
Okay.
No, he's trying to...
I'm going to go at...
Little safety.
I'm going to change my opinion on the single best shot I've seen this set was Phong planting that 8 ball right there. He was trying to make the 1, by the way. Make the 1 and keep the 8 in front of the 7. But it was still
right.
created quite a bit of problems.
That does make sense. Make the 1, of course.
Well,
then it's a very aggressive shot. Having the 8 hidden behind the solid the way he did is not aggressive for stripes, and it only worked out good because Roy chose to clear the pocket. But you're right. If he'd made that 1 ball, put the 8 in front, it would have been an even better shot. But he's got a kick shot here. Watch this.
He's kicking like Bruce Lee.
Oh, what
that
a
is
shot.
Phong Lee.
We will get a replay on that one.
Oh, my.
What a fantastic shot that is. That might be the best shot so far.
Yep. He just okay. So he shot that 8. I immediately said I loved it. You immediately said you thought you weren't sure if it was a good shot. It lengthens the game.
I think that it gave your dad control, and your dad then played a shot which lost him control.
Wait a minute. You think it gave my dad control? Did you see the position that Phong was in when he did that? My dad had 95% positional control already.
Okay. All right. You're right. He was in trouble, and and it was his an effort. I think your dad still had good control.
I agree.
And kind of lost it on his next shot, but this is a great shot here, isn't it?
My dad didn't lose control until Phong made this, kicked this ball in with spin and shape. This at this point, my dad lost control.
Yeah.
He was way over 51%. At every point through there, but Phong was just grinding. Man, that was sweet. That was a good game. My dad lost. I'm losing my bet, but that was
no.
A
I
good
agree.
game.
With,
that was a good pool.
I agree with that. I mean, it's like in blackjack where you know that you've got to hit that. You've got to take a hit, even though you know you're most likely to bust. If you do, you still know that it's the best play, right? When the dealer's got a good card.
Oh yeah, it's not even close. It's just that's real simple math.
And you've got a 15. Well, it's counterintuitive because you know if you hit that 15, most of the time you're going to lose. It's still better than the other option, which is even worse losing.
If you don't know the math, that could be a weird decision for you. I actually played a lot of blackjack. Like basic strategy, you got a 15 to a dealer 10.
Got to hit it. But you know you're going to lose most of the time when you do that. Right?
Wait, so you said you're going to lose most of the time when you do that.
When you hit.
And I'm saying you're going to lose most of the time.
Correct.
Not when you do one choice or the other. Both choices you're going to lose most of the time.
Right.
Which choice makes you lose less?
That's right. It's like voting in politics, isn't it? Instead of voting for someone we like, we vote for the one we hate the least.
If you only have 2 choices, sometimes that's what you got to do. But
so you end up voting for someone you don't like.
If you only, you got to take the choices you got. Yeah, I want to be 7 feet tall, and I wasn't given that choice.
Meanwhile, a completely different kind of rack over here. Nice open table.
Phong, first dry break of the match. Phong takes the lead 3-2, and then we have our first dry break of the match. Dad jumps up.
Gonna waste no time.
Running out. This 6 ball is a little bit weird. If you don't get straight on the 6, okay, so he lowered the distance, which is
it's nice. Get closer. Yeah.
I don't think I would have done that, but he hit it good.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you know how to hit that well because hitting it with speed like that and you misjudge it and you hook yourself.
Yeah, even if you have a little bit of a angle here, because he lowered the distance, you can still stop this without running too close to the 5. Oh, right. He rolled it in. Okay.
And that's a good point. For a stop shot, it has to still have stop by the time it gets there. So if you've got a longer distance, you got to hit it harder. So That's something that doesn't get said very often. You don't hear people say that, but you're absolutely right. By getting closer to that stop shot, you can play a softer stop shot or softer stun.
He played that. He played that
He
better than I would have. I would have just rolled over to get to ensure the 6. These guys are not. These guys are ready to rip each other's heads off. These are killers right now. I've seen them both play on the downside of their streakiness. This is not that.
This is the upside.
This is the upside. We got timeout. Phong needs a smoke break. He's a smoker. I say I'm a smoker at work just so I can get the smoke breaks.
Is that right?
I lie through my teeth.
No way.
Because my coworkers, I've been working enough jobs to know.
They will take breaks.
They all get extra breaks my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm short probably about 1,000 hours on breaks.
Yeah.
Just because I used to say I didn't smoke, but now I do.
Wow.
Well, good thing we're here. I got some notes that I wanted to share with the crew. Which one of these can you read? Which one of these is less chicken scratch to you?
Yeah, well, this one probably.
All right, so
whose is this?
We had I'll tell you what we're about to read to you. We got a couple questions we asked some of the players here. We both know the players very well, but sometimes I jump in the booth and I don't know one or maybe even both the players, and I would love if they had something like this. So we just asked them a couple quick questions, and I have the sheet from my dad. And the first question I asked him was, how'd you do in the first tournament you ever played in? Do you remember? And he said yes. He was at Mickey Mantle's House of Billiards, 1961. 61.
Wow.
And he won a trophy. It says he wrote down. I don't think he won the tournament, but he won the trophy. There was some trophy that he got. And here's some more notes on him. 1977, he won his first state championship. Southern Nevada 9-Ball Association. Anybody watching from Nevada? When I first moved to Nevada, there was only one league in the whole state. It was called Southern Nevada 9-Ball. They had forgot how many hundreds of teams, 400, 500, 600 teams. That's when I really liked league. It was you got kind of matched well into your level of competition, and so there was a Tuesday night Diamond League that was just straight up killers. And so you show up to Tuesday Diamond, and you're not ready to run out. That means you're going to go 0-5, and you're going to shine the horse's ass at the Rum Runner, which is where I played out of.
So what? Wait, what did you just say?
That was the tradition there. If you ever were at home, and you went 0-5 for your home team, they had a big plaque on the wall with the backside of a horse.
Oh, you actually had to shine.
They stopped the music.
The
Bartender grabbed a microphone and made an announcement. Everybody, MH just went 0-5 representing this bar and pool. He did absolutely nothing for his team. And they hand you a napkin, and you go over and you shine the horse's ass.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great memories.
It's really embarrassing. You don't want to ever do it. And almost no one, it was good. It was a good pool player bar. Here the players are coming back here. I'll finish mine quick here. 1993, my dad came in second in the National VNA Seniors Tourney. 2010, he won Wisconsin State Senior title.
Wow.
And he's had a bunch of other high finishes and all the senior stuff. He loves playing those. He's now retired and resting on his laurels.
But he's still playing hard. That's awesome. What else you got on there?
That's it. I was wrapping up quick so you could get to yours.
All right.
This is Fong's Q&A.
This is
some different questions.
Different questions. What's your break cue? Phong plays with an off-brand Predator with a G10 ferrule, which I put on for him. His playing cue is a McDermott G605 with a Kamui Clear Super Soft. What's his favorite Mad Apple food? Build your own wrap.
Hey. I know my dad's on that. It's the German fried apples.
Favorite color? Red. Favorite food? Pho.
Pho.
Pho. He pronounces it pho, but it looks like it's spelled pho.
It's spelled P-H-O.
Pho. It's like the beginning of his name.
Half my friends say pho, but if you're Asian, you say pho, and you take offense to anyone who says pho.
Oh.
But it's an amazing dish of food if you've never had it.
Yeah,
oh
he
my
made
God.
me some.
Oh, he did? Oh, wow.
Yep, he brought me a... He made a big old batch and brought me a bunch of it. It was just sort of... It was nice. It's like broth, really, isn't it?
Oh, so I've never had his pho. The phos are a little different, but to me, I was really excited about this food. I wanted to show it to my dad because somebody showed it to me about 10 years ago in Vegas. It's a Vietnamese dish, and I brought my family to this Vietnamese restaurant in Las Vegas, and I said, here's how my friends showed me to eat this dish, and this is what I did. And they give you a little Brussels sprouts, or not Brussels sprouts, but sprouts and limes, and it comes out super hot. And so they normally make it with rare beef, and so the beef just cooks in the broth.
Huh.
Noodles on the bottom, super hot.
Right. And that's
And,
the idea, isn't it? It's that hot liquid cooks your meat.
And it's really the late night spot in Vegas. So like when all the clubs let out, and people are at the end of their nights, but they're not ready to go home yet, they'll stop at this one place that's 24 hours called Pho Kim Long.
Say what?
Pho Kim Long.
Can you say that?
It's the name of the restaurant.
Played a really nice little nudge shot there to pick off these stripes. Sorry to interrupt you on that rack there.
Yeah, it was just, if you ever go to Vegas, that's the late night
Huh.
spot, and almost everybody gets the pho. I call it pho.
Pho.
But I know a lot of people call it
I'd never
pho.
heard of it until Phong told me about it. So he's done really well to unpick those stripes at the bottom end of the table. And he's still got these two stripes on the side of the table, which don't really go in either direction.
Oh, he's looking good. So you're going 12 to the 9, and then you have a perfect ball that you can use that 10. Oh, wait a minute. He's going, okay.
He seems to think that he can...
So he came back to put the 14 in the side now. I would have went 9,
Boy.
10, 14, 13. But
Does that ball really go, Alice?
the 14 goes on the side, yeah.
Okay.
It may even go on the corner. I
And
doubt
this is
that,
where you
but
were saying he doesn't like diamonds and the points on the side pockets stick out a long way.
if he misses this
That
shot,
comes into play now, doesn't it?
I'll tell you exactly what he's going to miss if he misses it. He's going to hit the point going in.
The near point,
Yep.
not
And
the far point.
And on a valley,
How
you
do
can
you-
kind of fire through that near point, and it will go in.
Far point.
I was wrong. He made the adjustment, though. He hit it perfect pocket speed.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean with the valley and the side pocket? With the bird's eye view, it's perfect. You can see it. The valley, the actual hole of the pocket
Yeah.
sticks out further.
Right. The pocket ledge.
The ledge, yeah. He's in trouble now. Both these guys are in gear. I thought that break might break it up, but
So yeah, you pick these three balls off first, go up for the one, and then leave the 2 ball till last. Or should I say second to last? 8 ball, of course.
depends on your angle here. I kind of like shooting going 5-1 here. I like going 5-1.
I don't like coming back on these balls. There's windows you got to hit. It's tough to get on the 3. Yeah, I definitely don't like that.
You're going to have a lot of choices off
And you're
this
right.
shot.
It depends on the angle. But if I could stay down here first, I would pick these off.
See, I think what he tried to do would do what you want to do. Hold it for the 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of saw it was a lot of angle. It's really hard to hold that for a good angle on the 3 to get
But
to
he's
the 4.
okay here, isn't it? He can shoot the 3 and then shoot the 4 in the same pocket as the 3.
No.
No?
Nope.
Why not?
Because the tangent line for the the same pocket. Oh, sorry.
Same pocket, yeah.
You can do that. That's not easy. I wouldn't want to try that. He got there.
Well, he didn't hit it, overhit it. Well, he still could shoot the 4 if he wants.
Oh, it's perfect for the 4. I'm shooting the 4 all day. straight top. I'm hitting that window between the 210, and now I got choices. I got 1 ball or 2 ball down. Maybe a hair of inside on this 4.
I was taking the 1.
Oop, looking up at the table.
Doesn't like that 4. But I agree with you, though. Looking at that 4, it's not that bad, is it?
Oh. It's actually sweet. Like for the queuing, too. You get through the 8 and the 9. There's no...
Yeah.
You had a perfect bridge.
But now that he's straight on the 2, this actually looks good, too, doesn't it? You just end up shooting the 8.
If he is straight,
you're going to end up shooting the 8 up table instead.
Is he straight?
Is he straight? Should we have a look?
If he's not straight, this is a little higher, a lot harder shot. Oh, he hit it perfect. So he wasn't that straight. He hit it with a lot of inside with perfect speed. Wow, what a shot. Confidence, too.
Wow.
Well, okay.
Surprising he didn't come off the bottom rail.
I would say he went from supreme confidence. I'm going to put this cue ball exactly where I want.
Cooling the side pocket here. I don't know why you wouldn't shoot this in the corner.
To rolling in the 4, yeah. He hit the 4. We both sensed it. He did not hit the 4 like he hit the 2.
Boy, I really prefer the corner pocket. And that's why. Why wouldn't you shoot that in the corner?
Okay, I'll tell you. Here's the reason why. I will answer the question. Because he already had it in his mind. He was putting it in the side before he shot the 4. And when he shot the 4, he shot it a little bit too light. Like he kind of understroked, maybe decelled a little bit.
You're saying he had his plan locked in and didn't.
And he wanted to keep his rhythm. Yeah,
B.
yeah. He wasn't. He's like, nope, let's go on the side. Oh. And a lot of times that works out, but it did not work out there. Okay, hold on now. So trouble. We have trouble. He made the ball, and you wanted off of that first stripe. You wanted to get on the 9 or the 13. That was your objective. He just failed his objective because now he has to shoot this 14 and use the 13 to get on the 9.
This is not a problem, I don't think.
It's not, but okay. So he just went. He
could just shoot the 9 ball right now and get above the 14, right?
This is what I mean, MH. What I'm saying is he just went from 98% to 95%. Okay, and you as a math man, you know as well as I do how big a difference there is between 95 and 98.
Not much at all. Wait, was that the wrong answer? I wasn't supposed to say that, was I? Yeah.
Okay, how about this? 99% versus 99.9%.
The real truth is we can't even put numbers on it, but you're right. There's other ways to get messed up, and he's found one. So that's exactly what you're talking about. He got a weird angle on the 9 ball.
We can put numbers on it. Come on, MH. Why can't we put numbers on it?
Well, because nobody's ever figured out how. How would you?
I just did.
No, you didn't. You plucked that out of the air. 98, 95, those numbers came out of your just guess.
No, it came out of my... I looked at the board, I analyzed the board, and then one shot later I reanalyzed the board.
Sure.
He was 98%, and then he went to 95.
I feel that your numbers are useful as a metaphor because I get it. The 95 was he's worse than the 98. I agree with that. But to say that it was 95 or 98 in the first place, you have no idea what the real numbers were. And we can't really put real numbers on it. You can feel it, and it's sort of a good general.
I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
I have no idea what the numbers are of a run out.
Right.
So if I say 10% or I say 90%, I have no idea.
Well, you have a feeling, but you to think that you can come up with an accurate, within 1% is, to me, that level of detail is meaningless. But what's meaningful about that is that you're saying that by saying 95 and 98, you're saying the 95 was less good than the 98, and I agree with that because
not just less good, much less good. So if you have,
but the numbers that you are using to present that don't sound much different. 98 and 95 are both winning positions.
Again, yes. Okay, so now we're going to go back to where you had a bad spot, right? Where you go, oh, but you're in a bad spot. Wow, yeah, that's a. It's the same side of the coin of the shot we were talking about earlier, where Phong had hit a hard out, so not much options. But you're in a world where you have very low options.
Yeah.
And so now within that world, are you going to keep your 5% chance to win, or are you going to lower it down to 2%? And so the exact same thing which is a big difference.
Sure.
A big difference, right?
Yeah.
Between 2% and 5%?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, huge.
Okay.
That is huge.
Now, okay, that's huge, but now look at the other side of the coin. You go from 98 to 95. And you're on it's the exact same equation. You're just on two sides of it. And you can see how one is a big, huge difference. And I think just through my explanation here, I hope you can see how the other one is also a big, huge difference. You're still going to win from 95. My dad just won.
Yeah, but truthfully, he ended up losing control of that and got lucky to get it back again. And you're right. He ended up, by not getting on those two balls, which is what started this, it made it more complex. He had to go a more complex route. He ended up with the wrong angle on the 9, and then mishit the 9 because he was trying something that wasn't quite there.
See, I think you probably wouldn't like my lesson. If I give a pool lesson, which because I want that 1%. I fight for that 1%. I want to bleed and die for that 1% advantage, and it accumulates over time, over every game, over every shot. Accumulated advantage. Next thing you know, you're Shane Van Boning. Next thing you know, you win the tournament, you win the match. You defend the world from aliens in a match of a competition. You just win.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree and defend the use of playing the percentages. People talk about playing the percentages. The one thing that I think nobody ever mentions and is nobody actually ever knows what the numbers are. They're only relative. It's not like blackjack. The difference with blackjack is you play the percentages there, but at some point in your life, somebody tells you what the real number is, and somebody does a calculation, and you get to feel, oh, yeah, this is a 60-40 chance if I hit that, and so you can learn to get pretty close with understanding what those numbers are. We don't have that direct feedback in pool because there's no other way to really calculate it. So the underlying concept is valid that you say you've got more chance of this or that. And in many ways, it's similar to those decisions in blackjack. But in pool, there's never really any real hard numbers that we are able to give.
Chat came in. I guess I'm wrong. I'm gonna back off. The chat just said, "I agree 100% with MH."
That's nice, Mr. G. Thank you.
And that means there's two people agreeing versus one, and 2 is greater than 1. Can we agree on that?
Well, that doesn't mean I'm right though, because two people can be wrong, right? I'm not saying we are necessarily, and I'm not saying it's about right and wrong, and I'm not trying to.
No, but 2 is greater than 1.
Because I still agree with your assessment that the percentages got worse when he missed that position, because that, which is what prompted you to say it, is actually true. I agree with you.
We got to come to some agreement because we actually do agree on like almost everything. But it's interesting to talk about the small points of disagreement and try and figure out why, because one of us is wrong, and that's it gives you the better. I love actually having discussions with not like-minded people, because not that we are, but just in general. But because that's how you get closer to finding out the truth. Guess what would happen if we all agreed on everything? What would our chances be of actually knowing the truth?
Well, it'd probably all be wrong.
Very likely, the chances of us knowing more, if we all agreed, or if we all kind of have a lot of disagreements like we kind of do already, our chances of knowing the truth are way higher the way things are now.
Yeah, it depends on why we agree. If we agree because we all apply good scientific questioning rigor and end up coming with the same answer, well, then that's probably a good answer. But if most people agree just because a lot of people just want to know, well, what do other people think? And they assume if lots of other people think it, then it's probably right. And then you can end up believing something that's completely wrong just because a whole bunch of other people believe it. Right?
All right, hang on. Can I show that shot again? Can you back up?
I don't think I can.
No? Okay.
No, I didn't hit that.
So he had 2 balls lined up right by the hole, and it was 12 and 13. And
I do have it.
You got it? Okay. This is just an easy, quick shot for almost all the pool players I know this shot, but maybe there's somebody watching who doesn't. So when you got balls lined up to a hole, here we go. Okay, 12, 13. They're froze or near froze. What he did was he hit the 12 on the left side, which you would think in your mind, or this is how I figured it out anyways. I think in my mind, if they're not froze and I can overcut the 12 to the right, that'll send the 13 more towards the pocket.
Cut it a little bit more.
But if they're froze, it's the exact opposite.
Right.
That's how I figure it out. What is the opposite of what makes sense here?
Sure.
If they're froze. And so what he did was he either doesn't know it or he forgot the shot.
That's right.
He hit it on the wrong side, which threw it out of the pocket.
Yeah. And so the question is, how much is that gap? Yeah, exactly. The more the gap, the more the cutting has effect. And therefore, but if they're froze, you have to throw it, not cut it, which is in the opposite direction. And if you've got that sort of credit card size gap, those two factors kind of compensate for each other, and it's approximately the same. Right? You overcut it a little bit and throw it. There's obviously a spot in between there where they match.
Yeah. I'm not good with the gaps.
I don't know what the gap is, but there's a small gap there where cutting it and throwing it both do opposite things and counteract each other and neutralize each other. And we should know what that size of the gap is, because on one side of the gap you should be throwing it, and on the other side of the gap, on the other side, larger than the gap, you should be cutting it.
It probably matters speed too, but it's good to know. It's good to know what Phong doesn't know. I'll show him that shot later. Phong does not know that if they're frozen, he just threw that ball out of the pocket, and he thought he was throwing it in.
He thought he was going to cut it in. Yeah.
He thought he was doing the exact opposite of what he was doing, because that's what kind of makes sense. If they weren't frozen. Whatever. This is I can see both their body language. These guys are ready.
Yeah.
This is what you want. This is fire.
So
this is trial by fire.
He's rolled up really close to this 9. Now, if he has this nice and straight in the corner, he's absolutely golden. If he doesn't, he's in a bit of a trouble.
This reminds me of that
I don't
song.
think he can get to the 14 in the side, so I think he's got to shoot the 9 in the corner.
You ever heard that song? It's like a team chant song, kind of. It's like, we ready, we ready, we ready for y'all. That's when I'm pumped. I watch Rocky the night before a big game or something, and I want to walk. Imagine a football. I'm a Green Bay Packer. I'm going to walk into any stadium USA with somebody who's walking like Phong right now and somebody who's walking like my dad right now. And we will take you down because we're ready.
My mum would be turning in her grave listening to the bad grammar in that chant.
In a chant?
In that chant.
Oh, man. Proper English.
We ready, huh?
For y'all.
So I think you're trying to say, we are ready for you. Is that what that means?
We are ready to compete at our highest level. And that includes you. That actually surpasses you probably. Because very likely you are not ready to compete with me.
Mm. So, how's solids looking here for Mr. Skenandore? He's got the 3, but if he can get the 3 ball in now, I don't know if it goes. It looks like he's going to get on it, so he's shooting it, so it goes.
3 goes.
And that means he's good to go. That means he's ready for you all.
Yeah. Can you feel it? We ready.
And that shot on the 9 ball there that Phong had, he didn't get too close to it. He needed that to go in, and he could have leveled this match up. And in a short race to 7, you can't get too far behind.
Okay, here's a little trickiness here. He's going to try and follow forward around the 2.
Yeah.
Only because I know my dad, that's what he's going to do.
And he's
I would draw back and and try to create the same thing because you want to shoot the 1 next.
Yeah, right.
But if you bump this 2, bad things can happen.
Right, and it's almost too straight, isn't it? So you either have to...
But I know my dad, and that's his shot.
And he got around it nicely. Got around it nicely.
He hit it just how I wanted to.
If he likes the 5 ball all the way up past the 9 ball, he can just play a little stop shot right now, and it's simple.
I think that's what I would do too. If it goes, I'm gonna look at it and see if it goes.
Well, take a look at the overhead.
I mean, I want 3/4 of that pocket. Yeah, it looks like it goes.
Stop shot on the 1, and then just shoot the 5 all the way up.
Yep.
No, he didn't like it.
Oh, we try to get perfect on that. He's got one more swing.
Might have to switch to the 2 ball now.
Yep, perfect angle to come back.
I mean, he could cut the 5 ball in from here, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Zim backwards and forwards as long as he feels good about it. So there's just a chance for this to go wrong now as he transitions back across the table to get on the 5. And he missed it. He was thinking so much about the position. He didn't really get very close with that 2 ball, did he?
Dang it.
So there's a replay of that shot. Oh, it wasn't that far off, but he just caught the far point. It's one of those shots where you know that the positional side was critical. Drifting across the table, you definitely don't want to be behind the 14.
I'll tell you what more about that shot. Okay, so he just missed the 2, right? Looked pretty easy, pretty natural. Now take it back to when Phong missed that 8 ball on the side, and you're like, why is he even shooting the side? To me, that's the same shot. To me, that's exactly the same dynamic happened on both of those shots. My dad was dead set in his mind's eye, on shooting that ball in the corner and then shooting the 5 and the 2.
That's interesting, isn't it?
And because he didn't get on the 5, and now in his mind's eye he had to change a little bit. Now that
and here's the same thing.
2 ball,
Fong's refusing the 12 in the side because he just thinks he needs to leave it. As long as you make this 15, you're okay. And he didn't. He should have just changed his plan. It wasn't terrible to go the
change
other
of
way.
plan is making these guys go from ready.
Well, that's amazing, and it's an accurate observation, I think, that you're making there, Ray.
We might be breaking ground here.
That same thing happened. I mean, at first, before Phong started shooting those, I'm thinking, okay, you leave the 12 in the side and then the other ball in the side, and you're good. And if he'd made that 15, he'd have ended up in that same position and he'd have been happy. But he wasn't really good on it. It wasn't that tough. And there's another miss. So who's ready? No one. Someone needs to get a grip. Take a breath.
Okay, here's my theory.
Visualize the shot.
Here's my theory. I have a new theory right now. You ready? Hashtag Ray Theories.
Okay.
We just saw 2 guys who were just have that feel. We could see it, that they're out from everywhere. Now they're getting down to the end game, and they get out of line, which they're still fine, though. But they got a little bit out of line. But they wanted to try and keep their rhythm and just overlook taking a different ball into a different hole.
Yeah.
And because they wanted to keep their rhythm, which you're gaining power from keeping your rhythm, but you're also losing power from maybe shooting the wrong shot or maybe not even looking at it.
You lose a lot when you start missing balls like this.
And now you miss. Yes.
You've got to be happy that your opponent let you back in again. Nice little recovery there because he was very close to totally messing himself up there. It's not over yet.
But just watching them, I'm trying to think about for myself.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in the zone, like I feel like these guys felt like they were in the zone for a couple games there, and they were.
Yeah.
Now, when I just get a little bit out of shape right at the end of the rack, maybe my last ball or my second to last ball, instead of trying to keep my rhythm on an easier routine ball, let me slow my gears.
Just reset as if this is the beginning of you coming to the table. Forget the history and just see what position you're in. And I actually think this little chat and you pointing that out, Ray, is going to help me. I think I'll recognize it now, coming up, and I'm sure it's happened to me many times, where you just drift out of position a little bit and then you just shoot and you miss. Don't be afraid to regroup and start afresh with your plan. So that was Phong sneaked through that. He kind of put himself in a difficult position there. They both threw it back at each other a couple of times. But we now have a tied-up match, 4-4. Very exciting.
That girl, MH.
Sydney?
Oh, yeah. Order a drink. Do you want anything?
Tequila.
Excellent choice. Drinks are on the way. 4-4. Pretty sure this is going hill, by the way. Anybody who side bet this is getting their money's worth. My dad's still breaking. Head ball smash.
Straight down. Full solid hit on the one.
Right down the pipe.
Control the cue ball.
Clumps.
That is one of those breaks that if you lose it, you start scratching in the side, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
He hit that full enough. He had follow on the cue ball, and it just jutted forward a little bit. But, yeah, if you don't hit it square, it scoots out sideways before the follow brings it bends it into the corner, into the side pocket. In the middle of these balls, he's got some choices to make here.
I love where the cue ball is.
Yeah, you whack the one ball in the side and bump these balls a little bit, don't you?
Well,
I probably would.
First, I'm going to decide what I want
Oh.
because I would love.
Other than the groups in the middle of the table, solids and stripes are both good on the outsides. So it's really about how do you pop these balls open. And now I know you're rolling the dice, and I know there's better players than me who pick things off really well, but I have a tendency to like to, when I'm faced with a nice little break shot.
Yeah, I'm
not whacking it too hard.
I'm shooting the one. I'm whacking it pretty hard.
Yeah, just bump the 14, and those two solids will be clear. But he's chosen stripes. What I don't like doing is picking off stripes or picking off easier balls and leaving my breaks till later. That's why my instinct would say take the one right away, just because it was there to be had in your very first shot. So now he's got to find a way somehow to release the 14 ball.
He's in trouble already. I already see trouble. I'm looking for safes right now. You ain't getting out from this on this rack. My dad's old school though. He thinks
I don't fault that choice. I mean, of that particular shot. Because you say he's not getting out, but if you can send the cue ball into the rack, which he got unlucky and kind of sneaked through, but didn't bump him out.
How about now? You ain't getting out now.
Now, yeah, because he doesn't really have a good shot that breaks anything. So shooting the 11 just wastes the 11.
I'm playing the safe with this 10. I'm trying to just bump the 10 and rehook it on itself.
I think Solids has chances. Solids has that chance because he's still got that one ball that we've been talking about in the side. The two balls in a nice position to be used.
I think he just called
the 11 off the 2 in the side.
The 10 in the side.
Oh, 10 in the side.
Follow it in.
What?
I like this shot. I'll tell you why. Because one, you erase that 2 ball, which is your biggest.
Very unlikely to make this ball, though, isn't he?
Yes.
You're just saying it got a safety element because you make the 2.
Yeah. Well, So let's put some numbers on it. Let's put some numbers on something you can't put numbers on. You're unlikely to make any ball you shoot from there.
Yep.
Okay. So now you just said very unlikely.
Okay.
I like numbers more than words.
Right.
Let's change that word very into a number. All right. How likely are you to bank the 10 into the 2 and follow it in? Let's just say 1%? 3%? What do you like?
You're saying because
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But look, you could.
Okay.
What number do you like?
A small number.
You don't like
okay.
1%? Okay,
Well,
we'll say 1%.
I can't give you a number, but
No, I'm giving you the number. I just don't want you to object. Just walk with me. Walk with me.
we're gonna just
Come on, we got the drinks coming.
pick these numbers and then just accept them. Okay.
They're not wildly picked numbers. MH. Relative to the pool world,
5%.
I am an expert. If I went to a court of law,
Yeah.
and the judge said, Johnny Cochran, who's your next witness here? that's going to come here and provide expert testimony.
Yeah.
I can
So you're
look
saying
at
you
this
could
board
actually,
right now.
You can make that shot 5%. All right, fine. I'm not saying that's terribly off. So okay, let's go with that.
And I'm not only saying that these numbers are not that bad of numbers. I'm saying you're an expert too, MH. In a court of law, if you were brought forward and a judge who doesn't know pool, do you show them a screenshot of this board and you say, I can bank that 10 ball in, through the 2 into the side pocket? There's less than 100 people in the world who could show up to that courtroom and have a better chance of putting a number on that than you. Okay. You're an expert.
All right.
I am too. Our expert testimony is absolutely a form of evidence.
Yeah, and this is of course why the court system is so unreliable.
Relative to what?
Well,
it's the best we got.
Given it, but I'm still allowed to say it's unreliable. Innocent people get convicted, guilty people go free, and it might be the best we've got. But don't fool you into thinking that makes it good.
And so I'll agree with you. There are plenty of people who don't get justice. And then when I say it's 5% to make that ball, if you brought the world number one, if Shane came here and said that he can make that ball 6 out of 100.
Yeah. If listen,
is that acceptable or is that willy-nilly pulling numbers out of the air?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, if Shane said 3%, you would concede to him and say you're right. It's not 5%. So it's not a real absolute number. But no.
Well, hold on. I put the question to you before you spin it on me. If Shane came over and said, I can make that 10 ball through the 2, 6 out of 100.
Yeah.
Is that pulling a number out of willy-nilly? Is that...
well, okay, let me say the prosecution would, before Shane gets in the room, let's say it's just you, he's going to rip you apart and say, how do you know? Did you try this 100 times? And you're saying, well, I've played lots of shots in my life. They're not exactly that shot, but I played lots of shots. Shane's more likely to have actually played that shot over and over and over because he plays so, works so hard on this game. And I'm not doubting that.
I'm lost. I feel like you didn't answer the question, but what?
I'm saying if Shane was
so you don't always have the world's number one expert to come into a courtroom. If you did, you wouldn't call me. You wouldn't call me to the stand beforehand.
Right.
But you can have, the 10th best scientist or the 100th best astrophysicist. Yeah. And when they come out and speak, you ever see My Cousin Vinny? They had the girlfriend come up and talk about tire tread on an engine, and they said, can you, you're a girlfriend sitting in a courtroom from New York with your hoop earrings. How can you be considered an expert on car engines?
Yeah.
And the opposing attorneys started questioning her about cylinder blocks, and she knew all this terminology, and she wowed the guy. She's like, "Yep, she's acceptable. She's an expert.
Okay,
we'll take her testimony."
Sure. No, and I'm not really totally poo-pooing it, because if you don't put some kind of estimate, let's call it that, on your percentages, you can't then go ahead and do the calculations and judge this against that, because it's not just picking one number, but you've got to see this, and then if you do that, you have to add the percentage of you winning from that position, or you could have gone the other way, and you actually do have to add these percentages together or subtract them or compare them, and without some kind of number, you can't do any of that kind of analysis. So there is some validity to it. I'm just pointing out the fact that you're plucking it out of your ass, that's all. Like, what I mean by that is that shot that we're talking about, that bank shot to go through the 2 ball in the side pocket. It's surprising. We might after this get up and shoot that shot and realize it's much more likely. It might be 10%. You may hit that 12%.
Oh wow.
And unless you sit down and try it, you'd be surprised.
That was about a 1%er there, and he just made it, and he's got a chance to get out. Yeah, you got to see that one again.
Yeah, little kiss shot.
I like us getting caught in the weeds here.
There's a replay of that shot, and it actually went off the 5 too, didn't it? We'll watch that one more time.
Yeah, I'm positive he played it off the 5. He did not. He got lucky. The 14 opened up the way it did, but he was also part of the reason he was playing off the 5 was to rearrange the furniture on that 14. Now he's got a little bit of weirdness because I think if he's froze here, it looks like he might not be able to make this 13. If he's not froze here, he has to get cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Let's talk some numbers.
Well,
they're way more precise than words. I think words are willy-nilly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a big fan. I want to know the answer. Did the Brewers win?
cut and dried, that is. Yes or no?
And you go, oh well, the pitcher broke up with his girlfriend.
Fong's trying to talk to us now. I don't know if I can.
Yeah. Can you replay it?
I don't think so.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
So we have an inquiry. Phong wants to know if the 7-ball moved. Anybody in the chat see it move? I don't know if we can back it up here or not. We'll try.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's looking at his. He can back up his.
Yep. So Kendall's
he's watching the match on his phone.
Backing up on his phone.
You'd think we'd be able to do that on the
Right?
on the stream here, wouldn't you? I can do replays, but only if you press the button and time the pressing of the button right to capture it.
I wasn't even watching for it. It's. I would say it's unlikely it moved. Because if it moves, it's probably going to throw off your shot, right? And especially at that low of a speed.
So he wants to know if it's a foul.
Yeah, he wants to know if it's a foul, which is very reasonable.
What's the call, Ray?
I don't know. I saw them both nod their head and walk away, and now my dad stepped at the table. So now I do know what the call is, and the call is safe. Tie goes to the runner. If you don't know it's a foul, don't say it's a foul.
Well, this is an exciting match. I want to thank everybody out there for watching. We're tied up at 4-4. If you're just tuning in, it's a challenge match between Phong and Ray Skenandore. I always have to... Roy Skenandore.
Wait a minute. Why is he jumping? What in the world? He's trying to pull back. He's trying to jump in the air and make the jump, pull the ball back, land on the ball, make it, and pull back for the 8 shape. This might be the greatest shot in the history of the... Okay.
Want to hit it?
Almost. And he got shape, and he left him long. And he left a threat in the... It was almost a miracle. It was almost a miracle on College Ave.
Let's have a replay on that 14 ball.
See, most people play the game in 2 dimensions. My dad saw this game in 3D. He said,
That's
if
amazing.
I go airborne and come down on the ball and then make it, it'll bring shape backwards.
He could, right?
That ball is not only a rail. That ball is a 4-dimensional rail.
To play a jump shot there is quite an unusual choice, isn't it? Because
he saw no future going forward. He had to come back.
He had no problem striking that ball. But I just didn't like... So Phong...
I've never seen him take a shot like that.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? To have such a clear shot at the ball and still jump it.
And he felt pretty good about it. And he almost made it. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't rattle the ball, but, jump shots are...
And Phong has played the sort of the natural safety here. The only problem here is the 14 is hanging over the side pocket. And he's given...
There's a lot of problems here.
Ray
So
a nice...
here's what you're going to do.
Shot. You're
going to hit this ball. The key here on this shot is speed. And different speeds are going to change the way it comes out of the rail, especially if you're putting spin on. I'm hitting this ball with just a hair of running English, which in this case would be right. A hair of running English. And I'm hitting this ball pretty hard. from the layout, you looking at it, you might think you want to just roll into it.
Yeah,
I don't think you do.
I would think that because you might end up nice and straight on the 8 if you do that.
That's pretty good speed. That's about the speed I would have hit it, but he missed the ball.
So you would have gone into the 5 and the 8.
Yep. I'm playing to crash into that because I think it's too likely to make the 14 and
Hook behind the 5.
hook behind the 5. Yeah.
Just enough
Or
speed
the 3.
to bump the.
They're both
Right.
huge balls.
I
Yeah.
see. Well, what ball are you going to shoot first? The 7?
Ooh, here we go. Great question. I'm going 3-5-7. 3-5-7-4-6.
Yeah, if he's going to shoot the 7, he's got to draw back just the right speed for either the 5 or the 3.
What's he say? Oh, on this one?
So here's his shot on the 7. He's following forward. And that's not bad.
I can't see. There's the.
If he plays the 3 in the side, he's going to negotiate a little brush on the 8 ball, unless he digs down, which he is. So he's jacked up on this one. Makes this shot tougher.
All right. So now you got a
I don't know if he's gone.
now you got a tough shot.
Yeah, is he? Is
You got a
this
shot though.
Is it cuttable in the side or is he?
Yes.
It is.
The hard part here isn't really cutting it. It's cutting it and not scratching.
Yeah.
And you got to take your cue ball into account. So, in my opinion, this is the heaviest cue ball in the game. Heavy in terms of it's a boulder. It's going to do more what it wants to do, more than what you want it to do.
The Aramith spotted measle ball.
Measle ball. I don't.
So
Is there more than one measle ball?
There's only one good one. We have a generic measle ball, but we don't use it.
Yeah.
We sell them in the pro shop. They're a lot less expensive. The measle ball is now $50. The Aramith raised their price.
Okay,
for one ball.
So because it's so heavy, though,
But
that makes it the hardest ball to manipulate, not scratching on this
Aramith
extreme cut.
says that this spotted measle ball is exactly the same as the Aramith logoed ball that comes with this set of balls.
And when they say same, they're saying words, and I'm more of a numbers guy. I'm going to go ahead and
Well, they do
break
use
down
numbers.
that word.
They have A, it's made out of the same resin. B, it's polished and machined to the same tolerance of roundness. And so the physical properties of this ball should be the same as the set of balls that it's using. They should be identical to the object balls. Now the red circle cue ball, which
that's what I was comparing it to other cue balls, like
Okay.
red circle,
And you're right.
Valley. There's a Cyclops ball.
the
that I
red
like.
circle, correct. So the red circle cue ball, which often people substitute and use, is lighter a little bit. So that validates what you just said.
And I've heard a lot of people say they're the same. They weigh the same.
Well, the red circle
so-
cue ball and the spotted cue ball are not the same.
No, when they say the same though, that's what I thought you were doing, but you weren't. When they say that, they're talking about the weight. They're like, okay, I got a scale here. It can measure, 6 decimal points.
Yeah.
And both and the red circle and the Cyclops and the measle, they're all the same. I've seen it on a scale where 2 cue balls are the same that play way different. That's why I described the way I described it, where I said this ball is a boulder. This ball is going to do more of what it wants to do than what you want it to do. And that dodging that scratch on an extreme cut is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Ooh, you got to make sure you hit this ball. Otherwise, you just gave the game away. Yep, you did.
Well, you were obviously perceiving things on a finer, more accurate level than me, my friend. And
I thought I
I'm
was all
blind.
willy nilly. That's my new nickname, willy nilly.
Willy-nilly. No, I mean, yeah, and I'm not doubting that you feel it because I know how well you play.
I've seen the
how many-
test,
how
Dr.
many-
Dave.
How,
Dr. Dave.
how many different properties can a ball have?
Sci-
You know, there's the weight, there's the hardness, there's the frictional coefficient of frictions.
So there's so there's reasons why they play heavier. And those are interesting. Those are to me like fun facts.
You're saying play heavier, using heavier in a word that's not related to actual weight.
Yeah.
'Cause we
So
can
then
get
maybe
a
that's
we can
confusion.
get- we
Maybe
can
I'm
get a
confusing
scale-
it.
Yeah, we can get a scale and
When I-
answer that question easily. But
When I say play heavier, though, it was a 2-word kind of. It plays heavier. Where that cut shot, if you had the red circle, you can draw out of that and never hit
Oh, I see.
never scratch and never hit that side rail.
and I would say
If
that's because the red circle is lighter.
okay, now I would say the reason why is a fun fact and matters a lot less. The reason why reality matters less than what is reality. What's more important, knowing how to hit a shot or knowing why a shot is able to be hit that way and kind of,
Ask that question again.
what's more important, reality or why is reality reality?
Well, when it comes to playing pool, there's a lot of really good pool players who play phenomenally well, and they kind of know what the balls are going to do. And when you ask them to explain the physics, they're completely wrong. And you don't have to know the physics to be a great player if you've played a lot and you know how the balls are going to react. If then you ask a question about physics, which they never really need to talk about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and now there's also physicists who know physics pretty good.
And they don't play pool good, yeah.
There's astrophysics
That's right.
who know physics pretty good.
Right. And they would think you could get to the bottom of pool easily, but it turns out pool's a lot more subtle and complex. I was one of those. I was a physics student. I wasn't very good, but I did calculate a lot of things. I've calculated the tangent rule from first principles, conservation of momentum, and conservation of energy. It gives you a bunch of equations with mass and velocity and angles and trigonometry. And after 2 pages of working, you come out with the tangent rule. And the reason I did that is because in England, the cue balls are lighter than the object balls in British pool. I wanted to know, well, what's the tangent angle if the balls are a different mass from each other? If the balls are the same weight as each other, it's the same. So in snooker, where the balls are lighter than pool a little bit, the tangent rule is still the same because the cue ball is the same as the object ball. But in British pool, the cue ball's lighter than the object balls. And in some American pool tables, the cue ball is heavier than the object ball, you know, in some of those bar tables.
Oh yeah,
those big rocks.
the old big balls.
And so
true boulder.
So I should be able to say instead of 90 degrees, the tangent rule in these other scenarios is, and it turns out that you can't just substitute a number there. There's a whole extra level of complexity because it depends, the angle that the cue ball goes on a stun shot depends on the incoming angle of the cue ball, which is strange because the tangent rule that you know, the 90-degree rule, the incoming angle of the cue ball doesn't affect that angle. There's a whole extra level of complexity if the cue ball is a different weight to the object balls. But what you're saying is that didn't make me good at pool.
If the object is running out the rack, getting good at pool, becoming the world's best,
Yeah.
what's more important, reality or why reality is reality?
Well, I guess the why.
And see, I would clearly say it's the reality.
The reality.
Like if I show you how to shoot a shot and dodge a scratch
But if you
that you
understand
didn't know
why,
before,
yeah.
now
But if you understand why that happens, you've got both the why and the reality. You can't have the why
I
without.
wasn't asking you what's better if you have both or one.
Well,
I was asking you if you only have one.
Yeah. So I would say the way I have to answer that question is, in one scenario, you can only have both.
No, the physicists know why every atom interacts with everything. Like they know why.
Well, they don't know everything, obviously. Quantum mechanics is a big
Together they do. If
big
you
mystery.
go to a conference, quantum.
Well, no. There's listen, we don't even understand what friction is.
We don't know what gravity is.
We don't
They
know.
don't.
Right.
Don't tell me you're one of those round earthers, are you?
Well, I think it's slightly. I think it's slightly bigger around the equator, so it's not really round, but it's close to. I'll tell you this. Reality is an illusion created by lack of alcohol.
Well, we're seeing things clear then right now.
Yes.
I guess that's part why I don't think you would like my lesson if I ever.
Oh, I'd
gave
love your
lessons
lessons. Are
again.
you kidding me?
If I ever gave lessons again,
you wouldn't enjoy me as a student, I'm sure. But I would love your lessons, Ray, and hopefully I wouldn't upset you too much.
No, I'm not upset at all. But if I showed you a shot, I just want, and I know it's different for different people, but I would like to note the significance of what's most important. So let's say we did a lesson, right? Let's say
I wouldn't know how to judge what's important.
Let's say Rodney Morris gives you a lesson for 2 hours. You pay $200. 10 years from now, this shot comes back up. You forgot everything else about that whole 2 hours, except he showed you this shot that you previously didn't know how to hit, but he did show you it in that 2 hour lesson. He's an expert in pool. If in a court of law, he was called before to provide testimony in front of a judge and a jury of his peers, he would be considered a known world expert. He tells you how to hit this shot. He shows you how to hit this shot. You hit the shot in front of him. He says, yep, that's how you hit the shot. And now you start talking about why did this do what I didn't really think it could do until you showed me this thing. I probably would have never figured it out. I'm saying 10 years from now, what's more important, the priority of what you should want to try to remember is much more of how to hit the shot, how to shoot the shot. What is reality instead of why reality is reality.
Okay, in that binary type question where I have to pick one over the other, maybe I'll figure out a way to pick one. But I will just say that understanding it is going to make you remember it better.
Agreed. Agreed.
And you're going to know how to hit this shot. It gets more confusing if you don't understand the underlying reasons for why it is the way it is. So I think my acceleration in this game, I didn't learn by playing over and over and over quite as much as some of these really instinctive players. I didn't play that much when I was a kid. I came from a point of view of physics and thought I could calculate a lot, and did, but that didn't make me a good player. So I still had to play and use my inner animal instinct and let that override the physics part of it. But the understanding of the underlying physics greatly helped and accelerated the ability to learn.
This is my dad's favorite shot here, by the way. Shooting to the side and get in shape. You can kind of put the cue ball anywhere he wants. Oh. I was trying to set it up. Okay, maybe that's where he wanted it. But
right.
I've been watching my dad play pool for a long time, and my favorite shot of his is shooting a ball into the side pocket and then putting the cue ball wherever the hell he wants on that table. And it doesn't matter if it's one rail or six rails. He's as good as I've ever seen, and maybe he has no peer. He's the best I've ever seen.
And
that's his shot.
And that shot in the side pocket there. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, Nicholas out there says you guys are tripping, and I know we probably should try and bring this back down to earth a little bit, shouldn't we?
Nick loves it. They're really going to love this.
But the real scientists know that
replaying this.
The real scientists know that in the big total of everything that's possible to know, we don't know much at all.
Okay, I'm going to quick run through the end of Fong's paper here.
Physics does not have the answers to the biggest questions, but it's the only honest thing in the room.
Pool experts do. Pool experts have answers that physics maybe can't explain. Guess what, MH? You're a pool expert.
Well, that's why I would definitely enjoy lessons with you, Ray. I think it would be fascinating. It would bring up a lot of questions. Okay, so we're gonna get back to the questions and answers here from Phong. They asked the question of Phong, favorite mentors, and Phong has said Mason Cook, who's just playing on that table over there, and who's this other one? Ray Skenandore.
Oh.
You're one of
that's my buddy.
One of Fong's mentors. That's awesome.
He's making me look good today. If I'm his mentor, if I'm one of his pool mentors, then I'm happy. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing today.
Yeah. There's Mason right there.
What else we got? He says, okay, so this is Fong's list. What's his favorite game?
9-ball, it says. Called 9-ball, which isn't even 9-ball. There is no called 9-ball. That would be 10-ball.
Okay. And then he's been playing 13 years.
And 1 pocket.
And that's the end of his list. And then I just started asking this question right before our stream here to everyone, pretty much. But also my dad and Fong. I said, okay, what's your favorite pool hall that you've ever been to not called the Mad Apple?
And his answer was KK Billiards.
His answer was KK Billiards, which no longer exists. Used to be in Green Bay, Wisconsin, though. My answer was Pool Sharks.
Where's that?
Which no longer exists. Used to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now it's called Griff's. And I can go into deep detail why. I like Griff's, don't get me wrong, but I like Pool Sharks more. Next one up, Malcolm. Old man Malcolm. I said, scratch on the break. I said, what's your favorite pool hall you ever been to, not Mad Apple? And he said, Antlers.
All right.
Which no longer exists.
And where's that?
In Chicago, Illinois. What's going on here, MH? Why are all the greatest pool halls we can ever remember no longer exist? Chat room, do me a favor. If you're listening live here, put in the chat, what's your favorite pool room you've ever been into your whole life that you can remember right now off the top of your head that's not called the Mad Apple?
Well, you can include the Mad Apple if you want. If it is, then say
well,
say
the obvious answer is the Mad Apple. That's what I said. My favorite pool hall in Wisconsin is the Mad Apple. I said it. Easy call for me.
So, tied up match, 5-5 in a race to 7. This rack is key to see who's going to get on the hill first. And for the first time in the match, Roy has scratched on the break.
Yep. Got
a very nice open table, and Fong's wasting no time at all.
And I really don't like that, actually. His first shot he took, he took an easy stripe down here on the bottom rail. I would have been. He had ball in hand. I'm looking at those. To me, he's saving his hardest balls for last.
Yeah, I mean these two stripes down there, they don't really have good pockets at all, do they?
With ball in hand, as my mentor, as my mentee, you got to get rid of your hard balls first.
He's raced into it quickly, isn't he? Like he's got a plan. Let's see how good this plan is. And
I think he's made a calculation to balance.
There is a way to go. He's actually okay here. That was a good shot. I mean, he can roll this ball in. The 11 does sneak past the 7, and then he's got the 15.
He can't hold this for the 11. If he's playing the 11, he has to come 2 rails.
Well, that's very difficult.
But again, what he's doing there is he's sacrificing the strategy a little bit and playing more for rhythm. And so he's still staying in rhythm. He's confident. He's not missing.
Just gently roll this in to the thick side of the pocket with a little bit of outside spin. No, he played what you just said, the 2 rails across. Actually, he didn't really even have enough speed to get back, I don't think.
Yeah, he was trying to play.
But now he's in deep trouble. You have to stop and visualize some of these shots before you get to him.
15 in the side, maybe, which bumps the 8 and holds the cue for the bank on the 11. There's not much saves here. Okay, here's a shot that might work. Combo your 11 into the 6, make it, send the cue ball into the 5, and nudge the 5 into the 4. Because if you can group those 2 balls,
right, I like it.
He has no breakout balls close.
Yeah. I like that shot. Cluster, yeah, bring the 5 and the 4 together. It's asking a lot, isn't it? Also make the 6.
Even if you don't make the 6, the key to that shot is clustering
and at least
up that
the 3
5.
ball's not open. And he has at least two stripes on the table.
Chat room.
Yeah, 2 people in the chat have said Unique in Madison. And that's the one upstairs, isn't it?
Wow, Unique.
Close to State Street, and it's upstairs.
Does it still exist?
You know, I don't think it does. Does anybody know for sure? Unique is still there?
Oh!
Well, got himself in trouble there.
Disaster.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, he didn't have a lot of good options, and so he tried to
Here's a replay.
bank that 11. That was my first thought, was bank the 11, but then I was looking at it, and I really didn't think it went. Maybe it went off the 8 the other way. You know, just you hit it a little different, it probably goes in off the 8. And the 8 might have actually come and cracked that 15 out. That would have been a dream come true. Instead, it's a nightmare. So he gave up the 6th game. My dad's up 6-7.
We'll have to have Phong sit down and do a post-game analysis on that,
No.
previous rack. Differently.
To me, a bigger mistake than that shot, because that's more bad luck than anything. The bigger mistake to me, that rack, is his first shot with ball in hand. I'm getting those. I'm coming after those 3 stripes that he tried to save for last. Whatever. Down to your break and run. Let's get to Hill, and then we're gonna have a safety war. Oh, maybe a safety war now. Actually, okay. I see something quick I like.
Oh, Jeff Cole says that Unique was Jerry Precise Place out in Madison, but I actually thought Jerry Precise Place was that one out in just on the outside of Madison, which was the blue chalk or the green something. There's another one, isn't there? Another pool hall in Madison.
Wow, he went for all of it, which I like, actually. He went for the early combo with half a pocket to open up the whole table, and very aggressive. But if you're going to get very aggressive, the time to do it is on the first shot.
Right.
And so I like it. Actually, overall, I like that shot.
Yeah, so Jeff Cole says that Unique is no longer there.
Wow. Why is it everyone's favorite pool room no longer exists? I'm just starting a poll, and it's 4 for 4 right now.
KK and Chris G says KK Sticks and Unique. And Sticks, if I'm not mistaken, was on College Avenue, just down the road from the Sharks Club. Now, people may say the Sharks Club
no longer exists,
which became the KK in Appleton.
What's going on? No. So when he said
Sticks
KK, he said he meant KK in Green Bay, not the Appleton one.
How do you know?
Because I talked to him.
Oh.
And I'm an expert.
Oh. The percentages say 60%.
99.999.
60% he meant the one in Green Bay. Now, Sticks opened up at the same time as the Sharks Club, virtually the same time. Appleton had no pool halls, and then all of a sudden it had 2 pool halls. And the difference was the Sharks Club had 7-foot tables and 9-foot tables, and Sticks, they were all 8-foot tables. Have you ever heard of a pool hall with 8-foot pool tables?
Unfortunately, yes. I hate 8-foot tables.
It's funny because 8-foot, is the number 1 most common size in homes. All those Brunswicks and Allhausens and Connellys and Legacies and nice pieces of furniture in these nice houses that we install. Almost all of them, 90% are 8-foot.
All of them. I'll tell you what, all those people who got 8-foot table in your house, you got the 8 ball. You got action. Everybody I know who has 8-foot table in their house doesn't play pool.
Yeah, correct.
It's for decoration.
Yeah, I mean, they still play pool, but yeah, they're
it's
not
got black felt and pink pockets.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't play on those tables, but
I am.
They're not the same pool players that you find in the pool hall.
You know what? That reminds me. The first time I ever got introduced as a pool player, it was by a pro pool player. He was. We were at Fokim Long late one night, just some other pool players around, and I was hanging out with my buddy Max Eberly.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, this is my buddy Ray. He's a pool player. And it was just a super weird feeling to hear a great player refer to me to a stranger as a pool player.
And now you identify as that.
No. The significance of me telling you the story is like I felt my knees get weak.
Oh wow.
It was a pretty sweet moment.
You really are a pool player.
And nobody in the whole room knew what happened except me.
Huh.
It was real. It was real.
I just saw Max Eberle's name. We were looking at the list of players on the European Open that's playing right now, day 2.
Oh, he's out there? Nice.
He's out there, yeah. Max Eberle's playing.
That's my boy. He controls the rock. Just like my dad has a side pocket shot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe hits it better than anyone in the world. Max Eberle's speed on the cue ball, I will put him up against whoever you want. Take who you want.
Yeah. Speaking of cue ball control, here's a key shot here.
Okay.
He's actually ended up good there, hasn't he? He's got the 7 or the 6.
If
Or
the
the 5.
6
He's actually got all 3 balls are available to him now.
If the 6 goes, you got to shoot the 6.
And this is for the match, folks. He's got a chance to run out here. Poor old Fong's kicking himself over that last rack.
Okay, so here's the trouble here. If you're sitting in Fong's chair right now, all you want is any chance, no matter what happens. But here's how you're going to get your chance. Oh, wow, he has the 5 too? Okay, I'm shooting the 5. I'm pulling back. 6 on the side. That's my shot. But if he doesn't have the 5, then I'm shooting the 6.
Yeah, the blue chalk, Jeff Cole is saying, was in Middleton. That's right. I've been there. I lived in Madison for a while. It was only open a short time. Uncertain who owned it. And I feel that was... We actually visited there one time. And Jerry Bresaith was there. I'm pretty sure he did.
Chris G, he said Green Bay 100%. I was only 99. But Chris G knows Fong as well as I do. And he said, KK Billiards with Harry sitting behind the counter, that is their favorite pool hall ever in their memory, not named the Mad Apple. The 5's tight, so he wants to shoot the 5, but because the problem with the 6 is when you shoot the 6, you're not going to have a great angle to get on either one of the next 2 balls. But if you don't shoot the 6 now, you're unlikely to get a better angle on the 6 than you got right now. So I'm rolling the 6 in, and then I'm going 5, 7, 8.
Yeah. Where does this 7 ball lead to?
I don't like this. I don't like
either.
it.
He wants this match to be tied up, doesn't he?
He's doing this for the people. He wants a stream, a hill on the stream.
Even if he hadn't bumped that ball, where was that going? He had...
I think he was imagining that it would go 2 rails tight and back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you could have shot the 6 and got on the 5, or you could shot the 5 and draw back for the 6.
So if he watches this match later, and I'll make him, we'll talk about that shot. Because that was, to me, no bueno.
Yeah.
And not that I want to show people the worst moments and talk about it. I just want to say why? Because and it's just like we're having our talk. Like we're pretty strong disagreeing on little things, but like why are we disagreeing?
Now Fong's had some things going against him, but he needs to just focus on. He knows he can figure this out if he can get a good shot here. I don't know what he's on.
I don't know why he hit that way.
Why didn't he find a way to get up table? Because the 9 ball you could use to break those 2 balls.
What do you do now?
Well, now he's play a little delicate tap safety behind those 2 balls there.
Yeah, if you tap the 10.
He's pointing his finger, but this can go wrong. It can go right.
No, look, if you hit this 10 ball.
You have to be so soft. The 10 ball.
It creates a wall of 3 balls. That's
right.
huge.
Correct.
All you have to do is hit the rail.
You got to make sure there's no
You
gap.
hit the rail.
Yeah.
You hit the rail, you can't lose. There's an old show called Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Yeah.
That was what that safety. I call that safety.
So we'll play a replay on that safety because you're absolutely right. He closed the window by hitting that at the right speed.
He got a little unlucky that they didn't freeze up more because now there is a jump here, and my dad's played pool before there was jump cues, and Earl Strickland hates the jump cue. All the old schoolers hate it usually, but surprisingly, my dad's pretty sporty, getting up quick here. This is his kind of jump.
Let's watch it from this
I'd say he's less than 50-50 to make this, but
yeah, and he's only going over the edge of the ball here, so I think he's probably favorite.
Oh, if that froze up weird, that's a problem.
We'll play a replay on that one. But he got over the ball, made a good contact. Phong, the world is your lobster.
And he likes seafood.
It's not easy though, is it?
No.
Has he got the 9 ball here?
I'm playing another safe. I just hit the 9 into the rail.
Yeah.
10 blocks. I mean, it's not. You don't want to.
Yeah, he's played it.
Oh, okay. If you can make it, yeah, play it.
Does the 15 and the 5? Does the 15 go past the 5? I think it does, doesn't it? It's weird that the overhead angle looks like it doesn't.
I don't think it does.
But when you look at how much gap there is between the balls there.
But it could go, yeah.
And that would have been the deciding factor is whether you played safe there. Because if it didn't go, I would have played safe.
I'm playing safe right now.
Because you're going to run it yourself. And if you're going to play safe now, you should have played safe in the previous shot.
This is what he's looking at.
Run
He's
yourself
looking at
into
safe
troubles.
behind the 8 right now.
It's leaked out.
I don't know.
Does
He's
the
leaked out to what? The 5?
5. Yeah, does the 5 go?
Well, you're going to need somebody to watch this, I think.
Yeah.
I would
getting his phone out.
I would call somebody else. Mason's sitting right there. Mason, can you watch your hit? Oh. Never mind. These guys got it. I was trying to get a third party involved.
Ooh, that was close. I don't know about that. Mason walked away like it's a good hit.
Man,
The players all agree.
It sounded good. He hit it like a.
And the question is the direction of the.
He hit that ball like Shane Van
I
Boning.
think he did hit it good.
On
that
his
that was a good hit.
in a middle of his greatest wet dream. That's how good he hit that ball. Do you know what I'm talking about when it just snaps the back of the pocket and it makes that sound? It's like a swish.
Yeah.
When you used to play basketball and you run up and down, makes the net fall backwards and we got to stop the game because you just hit it so pure. And now he
needs another one.
These are the shots where it's easier to miss right after you hit a good one.
Well, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? After you play the trick shot, the next shot you got to really focus on.
I'll tell you, physicists can't really figure that out. Oh boy.
How's he gonna land? Is that cuttable?
Nope.
It's
I'd say no.
No, I'd say it's not bankable.
Oh wait, you definitely can bank. And I think that's all you got.
Into the corner or the side?
Into the corner.
No, he's looking at cutting it.
Okay, so if I'm banking this and I'm speeding the cue ball to come down under the 15 or freeze the 15, or just create distance to your 10-11. Because if the cut shot's possible, I would go for the cut. The bank shot is still super thin. It's a really thin hit. The cue ball's flying in both scenarios. These are one of those shots where you can always see it better when you're at the table.
Yeah,
and
if
so
if
he likes the cut, go for the cut.
If you think you can snick this in, then that's the shot. And on these ones where they're really close, I do like to use maximum left-hand spin to help it in. Or would you always hit these thin cut shots playing?
Thin cut shot? Well, you got to avoid 2 scratches here. I'm hitting this with I'm thinking about scratching that corner. How do I not scratch in that corner?
Yeah, and there's even more than 2.
And there's other scratches past that corner, yeah. But as long as I don't scratch in that corner.
Regarding giving yourself a best chance to make this ball, just hit it plain and thin or use a ton of outside English to help it in? I like the outside
plain
English.
and thin.
Yeah.
We jinxed each other. We said the exact
You can
opposite
cut-
thing at the same
you
time.
can end up cutting it more. It might be impossible to hit it plain where you throw it in with a.
See, I'm more worried of if you're putting a bunch of English on it. You increase your chances of missing the ball completely. Your accuracy goes down, and I don't want to give up ball in hand here. Even if I miss this ball, I don't mind. Good things might happen if I don't scratch and the 8 ball rolls over towards the hole. I might block the 11. I'm looking for that 1%. I want accumulated advantage. I want to fight and die and bleed for that 1%. Man, it got awkward. He's pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, good. He's
Yeah, it
changed his
sure
mind.
seems that it's just too.
He's
too,
banking.
Too thin, isn't it?
If it was that thin, where you really had to think about it that long, then it's so thin you might have a chance to actually miss the ball, and then add that on top that you
Right.
got to send the cue ball like 18 rails
Yeah.
without scratching.
Still got
no
to worry
thank
about
you.
the scratches. This bank shot is still thin. Not as thin, obviously.
Yeah, you're worried about one scratch.
Still relatively thin. Yeah.
If you cut it, you're worried about 18 scratches. And what's
Now, if
greater,
you're
18 or
banking it,
1? 18
Definitely
or 1.
use outside English, right? Oh, look at that.
Oh my goodness. Go Daddy-O. Hey. Champion's here. I'm getting he wants the belt. Hold on. We're coming for the belt. We got the cam? We got the GoPro? No, I'm just kidding. Oh man. Great match, guys.
He reaches for the money. The money was sitting in the
I
top
hope.
of the light.
The money's on the light. That's old school. They started that
Yeah.
right before it started. My dad's old school.
Yeah.
He said, let's put the money on the light. That's the way I did it for 50 years. And the manager's here. Barry's dancing. Oh, boy. Oh, you just missed it.
Barry's
Yeah,
the manager.
Barry.
Barry's the backer. And there's all the money.
If
Well,
it-
congratulations to Roy on yet another win. Winning everything he plays in these days, isn't he? Thanks for being in the box with me, Ray, and having scintillating conversations. I enjoyed it. We're signing off. Condolences to hard-fought race from Fongy Poos. He's been playing good, playing aggressive, but
I'm shocked that I didn't go hill.
for his second match in a row, he's just got pipped to the post by Ray. Thanks for all the viewers out there for watching. Mad Apple streaming, our impromptu little challenge match, and of course we back to our regular matches on Friday for King of the Hill and Sunday for Queen of the Hill and Jesters matches and Knights matches, which I'll be playing in. This is MH Potting Pengley signing out, and
Ray Skenandore.
thanks a lot, Skidmark. Okay, we're out. Bye.